Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I wanted to get a quick shout out to Margaret. Margaret, thank you for taking the time to join us. Hopefully, Toy Town Inc. is also going to be joining us as well. Great to have you here. Thank you. Guys, thank you. Oh my goodness. Did I just do that on air? Scoozy. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We are going to have a very exciting show. It's going to be wet and zesty. Yeah, sorry about that side conversation. Anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out. We got a really great, excuse me, goodness gracious, conversation and show and guest, and we're going to get it popping. I also may have heard a little bit of rumblings and I have some information on the GTF that I haven't seen anyone report on. So we may be talking about that tonight as well. And if anyone is out there and you're listening, last night I did build this OD Green Super Duty lower. Now that's an OD Green Geisley Super Duty strip lower with an OD Green Geisley buffer tube, with OD Green B5 furniture, with Geisley braided Super 42 and buffer and all that, and Geisley Ultra Duty lower parts kit, and the Geisley SSAE trigger. However, it doesn't have the lightning bow. I know. What am I doing, right? But bro, it's fire. Now all I need is another OD green upper to throw on top of it. That's all. Just another OD green Geisley Super Duty upper. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. For all you guys coming and hanging out, I so appreciate you so much. If you are into building, if you are into 3D squirting tools, if you are into developing, if you're into any of that stuff, even if you're just a guy that likes to shoot and you're fascinated with us weirdos, come and hang out. You're going to love it. For those of you that I don't know why everyone starts hitting me up literally like right when I go live. It's like they're like, "Oh, DLD's live. I know him in real life, so I could text him." Sorry. So if you're new here or if you're watching this on replay and you just jammed out to that super dope song, what you may not know is that we take the first like 10 minutes or so to greet all of our channel members, to say hello to everyone that's taken the time out of their day, their evening, their night to join us live. So, Scoozy. Yes, for everyone asking, I am feeling better. I'm not back to 100%, but I'm at least good enough to do a show. So let's go ahead and get into it. My lights are going crazy. They're all different colors. I don't care. I'm just going to let it ride. Gerchop, Gerchop, Gerchop. Let's get started. Okay. So first off, first this evening was Dangle Matt. Dangle Matt, my guy. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Congrats on being first. And you get at least one fist bump. Mm, let's do one crisp high five. Oh, whoopsies. Anyway, thank you so much for being first. I appreciate you. And naturally, right behind him, we all know you were first, Kurt, was Kurt 24, my guy. Thank you. One of our favorite mods. He's low key. He's the producer, the unpaid producer of the show. Okay. But don't let anyone know that he's unpaid. Okay. Don't let him know at least. And he's also a channel member, and we appreciate you so much. And look at this, we're just getting started. We got 50 people in here, bro. Love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see. What are the channel members we got up in here? Oh, excuse me, channel members. We got Silverback, my guy. What's up, brother? Also a channel member. We got Z. Do we have Z? You have to say it with a question mark. So Z, great to see you. Also a channel member. We got Mike McClune, the goon. Give him room. Mike McClune, my guy, channel member. I appreciate you. We got Fire Rodder in the building. Fire Rodder, my guy. What's up? Also a channel member. Let's see. Fire Rodder. We got Flying Rich. Flying Rich, brother. Great to see you. And I'm sorry, Rich, we haven't been able to talk a whole lot. I've not been doing really well. All right. I've been a little under the weather. Scoozy. And you know what? I'm my voice just during the day is like if you call me, I like sound like this. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So, but I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. But no, he was asking like, oh, Dark doesn't talk to me anymore. He doesn't call me anymore. He hates me. Of course, I don't hate you. I bust your chops in mixed company because I love you, not because I dislike you. You know, I love you. Mike McClune, Flying Rich, Kurt 24, Toy Town Inc., my guy, great to see you. And hello to Margaret as well, which we could say that both of you are channel members. So thank you. Let's see, Mike McClune. We got Drew in the chat. Drew, my guy, I just got your other submission as well. Thank you for that. So for all the people that are posting pictures, if you're posting a picture and it's got my merch and Pistola or a GAT or the GAT Lab or a build or gear or nods or like whatever you're doing, just take a really, really dope picture with some kind of DLD, paraphernalia, whether it's DLD stickers, DLD patch, a PWEDC patch, DLD sticker packs, you know what I'm saying? Any of these, and just post a picture, take your pistol out, set it on it, take a dope picture with like the sunrise in the background, something dope like that. Okay. But anyway, do that, submit it, and then you'll be entered in a contest. And you could go to DLD hardware, but it's still not up and it's still got the message shut down. So you can't order any merch now anyway. But for those that did, that have taken pictures and submitted them, you can send them on IG, post them, tag me in it, whatever. As long as I get the pictures, you guys will be this will all be voting. It'll be all the pictures, and then you guys will pick the 5 finalists. The 5 final pictures that are selected, we'll do a public vote. Out of those 5 that are voted on, number 1, all 5 will win prizes. Number one gets the first prize, second prize, third prize, fourth prize, fifth prize, so on and so on, right? Now, there's recently been some other things added to the prizes, which we're talking optics, we're talking Gideon optics, we're talking knives, tack knives, OTF knives. We got gear. I got S-tack gear, battle belt stuff. I got medical gear. I got all sorts of crazy stuff. This is going to be probably one of the craziest, like highest dollar giveaways that I've ever done. And of course, it happened right when they shut my whatchamacallit down, my business, my store down. But something else may be added, and it may be something like this. You guys see this kind of light? Well, this is a really special kind of goon beam. I don't know if you've seen it before, but this one does something a little different. Hey, it's got that blue, dude. And this is so ungodly bright. Like if you walk outside, and I walked out on a kind of cloudy day, and I just went, ooh, like it was like lightsaber mode. I mean, you could just see this beam literally touching the clouds. I have video of it touching the clouds. It's like a bat signal, but for dilders. It is insane. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to put one of these on the Geisley Super Duty, but I might get one of the Tactical Turkeys green ones, so I could put the green one on the 40 millimeter green Geisley Super Duty. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sorry. Anyway, but for anyone that has DLD merch, take out your GAT, submit a picture, and you could win stuff. Really, really dope stuff. I also have the short configuration in blue. Now that is the Pistol, similar to the size and scope of a TLR1HL, and which that will be included in there as well. And I may also add something like that in there too. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. We're working on some really dope stuff, okay? And I'm pumped, even though they shut me down and literally. Sorry, I'm pissed about that. But yeah, cost me a few grand. That's all. Lightning McQueen, what's up, brother? Also one of my favorite channel members. The trick is that all of my channel members are my favorite. Kurt24, Lightning McQueen, we got Drew, Zanty Misfit. What's up, Zanty? Also a channel member. I appreciate you. Zanty, Mike McClune, Tech Money, my guy. You know I'm just busting your chops about the Hellcat. I'm sure people that carry Hellcats are extremely masculine and stuff. So I'm just that guy. I just talk trash. If it's not a Glock, it's I'm gonna make fun of it. Okay. But I still love you. Kurt, Zanty, Drew, Mike McClune, Carbon Q. What's up, Carbon Q? Chanamemba extraordinaire. We got Gort in the building. What's up, Gort? Great to see you. Chanamemba. Man, look at all these Chanamembas. We got Live Life. Yo, and by the way, I posted something on Reddit. I posted the Strike 80 on Reddit, and I ran into a dude. I didn't realize it was Lunatic Rider. Do you guys remember Lunatic Rider? He used to come in the streams all the time. He was like, dude, great to see you here on Reddit. I'm like, bro, where you been at? So, Lunatic Rider, bro, if you're out there, thanks for engaging with my Reddit post. But great to have you back in the streams. If you ever choose to come back to me, hear me calling. Gort, Kurt 24, Live Life. I think I said what's up, Alabama in the house, Live Life, my guy. Great to see you. Calling 911, Namakila. Live Life, Carbon Cube. Mark Tucker, Mopka. Is this the place? Yes, indeedy, it is. Gort, Mike McClune, Shana Memba. Great to see you, Shana. We got Jason Yoing. Great to see you. Appreciate both y'all coming and hanging out. And I know it's likely that both of you guys are chilling at the table together. Like yeah. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's see, Shauna, Drew, Mark Tucker, Mopka, Aggie. What's up, Aggie? Good to see you, Agorizer, my guy. Mark Tucker. Hey, Gordon. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. C&T Designs and Arms. What's up, fam? Good to see you. Also with channel member, we got Marconi. Go check out Marconi's Instagram, man. He's doing some pretty dope stuff with the SIG 320 grip modules, the little PDWs. Man, seeing his stuff all customized and Cerakoted and stippled, and it's nasty, bro, nasty. I was chatting with him earlier today. Too many choices. What's up, fam? Also with Chinamemba. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. We got Aggie, TMC, Kurt 23. Just kidding. TMC, Jason Ewing, Mike McClune. Let's see who else. Tech Money, Mark Tucker, Gordon. Kurt 24, Shana member, Agorizer. Let's see, CNT Designs and Amps. By the way, Coop, remember to holler at me, man. Don't go run and get a Shadow Systems frame, because you can get a frame that is so close to it. I promise I'll bring it up in a minute, but I don't want to leave my guest waiting too long back there. He's already been back there for a hot minute. Zanti, more Beta Prince, my guy. Great to see you. Also with Chenamemba and Kurt 24, Jason, more Beta Prince, Agorizer, CNT Designs and Amps. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Hold up. What would you do? Get up off my feet and stop making Todd excuses. Okay, and I think that is all the channel members except JC9. What's up, fam? Great to see you. Let's see. JC Neener, Marconi, Hey, Flying Rich of the super duper chat. Thank you. Quit kissing Crump and you will be healthy. I actually haven't even seen Crump in like 2 months, dude. I haven't seen Crump since before SHOT Show. Well, I'll say that. Agorizer, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Ting Ting, great to have you here. I just miss you so much. I miss us, miss the way you smell. I'm just kidding. That's creepy. Shauna, TMC, Banshee's my guy. DLD been kissing John Crump. I promise I've never kissed John Crump. Yeah, I've never kissed John Crump. I had to think about that. Prepper Book Club, brother. Great to see you. Prepper Book Club, Shauna. Hey, know your gun guy. What's up, fam? Also with Shanna Memba. Appreciate you. Shauna, Fluffy Bunny, my guy. Great to see you. Also with Shanna Memba. And let's see, Noya, Fluffy, Flying Rich. Man, my bad. I was so far behind on chat. Pick me, pick me. All right, well, we'll see if I can get y'all some stickers sooner rather than later. Agorizer, Gord, Z, Flying Rich, Ed Zachary. What's up, brother? Good to see you. My blue beam arrives on Saturday. Yes, that's awesome. You're gonna love it. Just don't look at it too long with your naked eyeballs. And don't look at it too long naked either. Just or with your eyeballs. Don't be naked or have naked eyeballs. None of that. Just don't do weird stuff. All right. I mean, you could do weird stuff, just not with the beam. Let's see. Barton Fink, brother, what's up? Also with Chanamemba, Agorizer, Tech Money, Ed Zachary, Kurt 24, JC Neener, Silverback, Kurt 24. Hey, Sandman, there he is. What's up, brother? Also with Chanamemba. We got Putang in the building. Yo, sorry, real quick, and then we're gonna bring on my guest. If y'all do not know, the Gideon has come out with some of the sickest LPVOs. I cannot wait to throw this bad boy on my super special gun that I can't tell you about yet. It's definitely not going to be a 3D squirted apple pie. Okay. Definitely not going to be. This is a 1 to 10 by 30 foe. And if you don't know, they got mounts too. They got cantilever mounts. Yeah, it's so fire. Anyway, you need to check it out. If you go in the link in the description and you use code GLOWIES, you save 10% off and free shipping, I believe. But yeah, super fresh, super dope. Shauna Jason, Silverback, I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody else. Mike McClune, the Goon, coming soon to a theater near you. Flying Ridge, Tech, Jeez Louise, and Cheese. Okay. And we got Steve Whoop in the building. Damien, my brother in Christ. What's up, fam? Putane, Rip Crow Readiness, all you guys. And I'll make sure we get to say what's up. Goonbeam, my brother. Good to see you. And all y'all up in here. If I missed you, Rip Curl. If I missed you, my bad. I'll make sure we just sound off in chat and we'll say what's up. Okay, guys. My apologies to keep you waiting. However, the wait was well worth it because I would like to introduce to you someone who's been on our show before. However, he's back and he has a new item dropping that I think all of you will love to. I forgot that was going to happen. I think all of you will love to hear Mr. Fromage himself, brother. Great to see you. I think all of you will love to hear about it. Introducing Mr. 3D CAD Daddy himself, 3D Arms.
What's up, boys?
What's up,
It's
bro?
good to be here.
Dude? I love having you on. It's super special.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good
Put
place.
this down over here. It's a great place to be, man. We're literally just getting started. We got 60 people up in here, and everyone just wants to see you.
That's a lot. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Pretty good.
Right? Just getting started. And we already got 60 heads in here. It's awesome. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you could, 3D Arms, please let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
Well, I started my life as a baby, and then I grew up
True.
and learned about guns.
Mm-hmm.
And much like I would bet about 60 people in here, I liked them a lot.
Yeah.
Partially because they're fun, and partially because the government doesn't want me to like them, and so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that makes me like things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I found out about 3D printed guns.
Mm.
And at that point, I was already like, I knew all about 3D printing. I was pretty into that before then. But yeah, then I just started printing guns. And honestly, it's kind of an addiction. Like,
Hell yeah.
I do it more than all my other hobbies, like probably put together. It's excessive, but it's a good time. And so yeah, now I design guns and I print them, and some of them are pump action Air 15 apple pies. Some of them are 50 BMG lowers,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
some of them are 12 gauge shotguns. And also, I guess now we have a flapper delayed 9mm MP5 for pores.
Yes.
So we got all kinds of stuff.
And that's, dude, I definitely want to jump like balls deep into that because I think that's super exciting. And Ting Ting, I touched your like button. You refused to touch mine, DLD After Dark. Well, I would touch your like button anytime you would like me to like your touch your like. Yeah. Anyway, I don't get awkward around girls. So okay, what I'm most surprised about in that conversation is you have other hobbies.
had other hobbies.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
that can get expensive. Like when I see friends and they're like, "Oh yeah, I ride motorcycles, I golf, I have guns." I'm like, dude, how do you maintain that? Because me alone, and maybe we take guns to a different level than most people.
I think
Uh,
so.
those are expensive hobbies to have, man. What kind of other stuff are you into though?
I like woodworking. The filthy table right here, I made that.
You 3D printed that table? I'm just
3D
kidding.
printed that table. I did.
You did
On a
that woodwork?
bamboo, so it was basically cheating.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so like I
You
make
made that table? You made that
Yeah.
table yourself?
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Yeah. I just bought a slab of wood, stained it, put some polyurethane on it, and built some legs for it. But like I build furniture. I used to do a lot of like music recording and mixing type stuff. That's why I got stuff like this and this guy.
Oh, like
Um,
that is that a Shure, SM7B?
is it? It
It
might
looks
be.
just like
Is
mine.
is that a Shure SM7?
This sure is. You have
Oh,
to
maybe.
cradle the bottom and, you
Uh-huh.
gotta yeah, I'm just
If you
kidding.
don't cradle the bottom, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
If you
yeah, it doesn't. It
push the
takes
top
way
down,
longer if you don't
and
cradle. Can you
they
give
need to.
them a little,
Oh
little
yeah. I do a little metal. I haven't done any warm up, so we'll see how this sounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that
I like metal. I like metal a lot.
It peaked a little, but it was still great. It was still great.
Nice. Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
sure for wood or not.
dude, first off, I'm impressed about the wood thing.
Thank
That's crazy, and it's funny because you learn things about people that you think you know, and I had no idea you were into woodworking and stuff, and
I'm a man who enjoys good wood.
good, absolutely. Once you're skilled with wood, there's a lot of things you can do.
Open
Um,
sliding doors.
yeah.
You thought
So,
some doors only went one way, they go both ways. I'm just
oh,
kidding.
yucky. So before we jump into the squirted pews and stuff, um, give everyone kind of like a general idea of your thoughts and your perception on just kind of where we are like as a country right now, as a world right now. Just kind of what are your thoughts on all the fuckery going on?
Uh, it it feels like big things might happen. Like it kind of feels like, you know, how I imagine it felt before World War One,
Mm,
or more accurately before World War Two. Because before World War One, they had no idea anything like that could happen.
yeah.
Um, a lot of the world's pretty crazy, and I mean, it's not the first time there's been craziness, but there's just a lot of insane things at the same time. And hey, John Cornflab. And what we're seeing with the never ending but now escalating conflicts in the Middle East, uh, plus Russia and Ukraine, it
Yep.
kind of seems like things are setting up for something big.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I mean, preferably not.
Yep.
But it's I'm a little uneasy about it, you know?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder
Yeah.
what, 5 years from now is gonna look like.
Yeah, man, 5 years from now, I think we'll be blessed if we
Yeah.
make it that far. John Crump Live, thank you for the member chat. He says he likes working people's wood. I he did a great job on that table.
Someone say I'm a mouth carpenter as well.
Oh, yucky. Flying Rich, thank you for the super chat. He says 3D Arms
Some of yours
also
look out.
goes to conventions in Vegas.
Yes. I was there at the same time as the Adult Video Network convention.
Yes. Now you were there
Fine.
for SHOT Show. You definitely weren't there for that, right?
Yeah, I was there for SHOT Show.
Yeah. Did you get to enjoy any of the vaginal scenery over there?
Not willingly, but, you go outside, you see some homeless people, whatever happens, happens.
I was talking about the AVN.
Oh, no,
No,
no.
I'm kidding.
No,
Yeah,
I left, just right after SHOT Show. I was actually sick at the very end of SHOT Show too. So you know how you're getting over being sick? I
yeah,
got sick like the same time as you just now. I
that's
also
right.
got
Yeah.
sick at SHOT Show. So it's my second time being sick this year.
Mm.
That like never happens. Normally I'm a one sick a year kind of man. So
Yeah,
hitting it twice is just like we're still at the beginning of the year. It's messed
yeah,
up. Gutter
yeah.
cheese. I will be at GMM 4.
Oh,
I need
nice,
to like buy plane tickets and stuff, but I'm definitely going. Are you
nice.
going?
I
Sound off in the
probably,
comments, everybody that's going.
yeah, I probably won't personally be able to go, but I would like to, man. We'll see. I was actually planning a bunch of different events, possibly Gunmakers Match, possibly PSA The Gathering, and then I was attacked. My business was shut down, my website was shut down, and it's been shut down for, nearly 2 weeks now, which is like causing nearly irreparable harm. So I may have to make some slight adjustments in what I can and can't do. But if I just don't buy a few extra guns here and there, and I'll make it work. I always do. Prepper Book Club, thank you for the super chat member for 2 months. Thank you. Kim Lights for life. Go out and touch brass. Oh, nice. I like that. Touch brass. Nice.
That is really good.
So, it's an interesting perspective on. Thank you, Mike Chanachana member. Dang, 23 months, almost 2 years, my guy. You are
Oh,
incredible. Thank you. The support is awesome. Um, so it's kind of an interesting perspective. I tend to agree, and I think that it does feel like things are escalating rapidly. And I always find myself kind of wondering, like, do they feel like things are? Does it feel like things are escalating so rapidly because they have a desire to make us feel like they want us to feel like that? They want us to feel that discomfort, or are they in such a panic that they're making irrational decisions, and because things are changing so much more rapidly, a byproduct of that is because they don't care. They're operating in public with impunity. They don't care, whatever they do, um, the things that they do, the decisions that they make, it may impact us more because they're like, we just got to do this. We just got to do this. We don't care what the impact on the general public is going to be. Or are they like, hey, let's do this because it'll make them create? Because I think they genuinely want to provoke us to, commit violence.
Oh yeah. The thing is, it seems like our side is a lot less impulsive than the other side.
Yeah.
Like you saw the riots, a couple years ago over the summer.
Hmm.
Um, it was on a massive scale in almost every large city in
Yep.
the nation. Um, I mean, you can't even imagine what it would take to get our side to do that for better or worse. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe we should be a little more vocal. But
Yeah.
either way, it's like what would it take for them to do, like what would they have to do to light
For
that spark on our side?
like for us to take to the streets like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that because I posed a question that in my eyes is I guess in a way it's kind of similar. Um, the way that people see publicly talking about maybe like trans people or homosexuals or what some would call sodomites, talking about anyone
More
like that. Yeah. Talking about anyone like that, people are usually terrified to speak out. People are usually afraid to speak out. They'll get
Mhm.
canceled. They'll lose their job. They'll get deplatformed. And it
Like
finally hit
TikTok
me.
YouTube.
Yeah, it hit me. It was like probably 2 weeks ago, and I said, okay, most people are terrified to speak out against people that, whether it be trans or gay or even in some cases black or white or whatever. They're so terrified of speaking out that they'll be, canceled. They'll lose everything, right? And
Mhm.
the question that I posed was this: what would have to happen for us, for the, military aged males that are armed, that think like we do, that, believe in freedom, independence, and liberty and natural rights? What would we have to do? What must we do to be the ones that they would never dare publicly criticize, that they would never dare to judge publicly, to speak about, to where, when they get in a place, they're like, I'll just keep my mouth shut. I will not say anything out of fear of and I'm not talking about, like, I know our country is built on shooting tyrants in the face. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about violence. I'm just saying, how would we, shift the social construct to where, like, we are not the ones that y'all focus on anymore? You know what I mean?
I mean, we'd need majority control of the media and the educational institutions.
Oh, that's all?
I think that would be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So
I agree, though. I do agree with you.
the reason why the left can do that and the right can't is because they have these institutions that they have completely captured. Um,
Yep.
every once in a while, we see dissent within their sides, like with the Israel Palestine stuff.
Mhm.
We saw some cracks in their armor, but on most things, they have basically complete control of higher education.
Mhm.
Um, honestly, of lower education as
Yeah,
well.
public
Uh,
education, yep.
exactly, and also of the media, and a lot of it's because people on the right, we want to like build stuff. We want to become engineers. We want to become uh surgeons, things like that. We're less interested in those middle management type
Mhm,
roles, those HR type roles,
mhm.
and there's a lot of power there.
Yeah, lots
Um,
of, leadership, lots of, you know,
mhm,
what do you call it? Like, influence.
yeah, like you hear the phrase, "Get woke, go broke," or whatever.
Mhm,
Um, Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, but often like statistically it actually is. But the thing is, the people who are pushing it aren't necessarily the shareholders. It's that middle management who is just kind of an activist class.
mm,
And the thing I worry about is, 10 years from now, middle management is upper management. They'll have a lot
yeah,
more power.
yeah, more
Um,
influence and
yeah. And they don't seem to be getting any less extreme, any less of activists. So
part
I do worry about, is woke going to die or is it going to get more extreme and more powerful? I think we're seeing these ridiculous things more freely mocked, but I don't think that means they're losing power.
yeah. I think, the last 3 to 4 years, tells us the latter, like you said, that it's likely getting more extreme. And there is a lot of openly mocking it, and and I feel like a lot of that is mostly online.
Mhm.
There's definitely memetic warfare going on constantly. The memes are, I mean, that's an actual way to defeat a meme that
It can
takes,
change minds. It actually
yeah,
can.
for sure. A meme that takes less than 3 seconds to understand that sticks with you, and we all know those guys that, like, try to explain memes. It's like, dude, that's not how they work, you know?
You
Like,
have to explain it. It didn't.
yeah, yeah, it's like it's something you just gotta see and be like, it but, yeah, it's, that's a really interesting perspective, though. I think that's valid. I do think we're headed to, um, likely a crazier and even more extreme place, and may I explain why I believe that?
Please do. With
So
your silky voice through that Shure SM7B.
so thank you for asking. No, so here's what I believe. In the 80s, and in the 80s, do you recall the way that, and I'm using homosexuals as an example just purely because it's an example, okay?
Mhm.
Do you remember in the 80s how homosexuals were treated?
I remember in the 90s,
Mhm,
I wasn't alive in the 80s, but, I mean, in the 90s, like, it was the common opinion of kind of everyone, like, even not religious people were like, "Oh, that's
mhm.
wrong."
Yeah, yeah.
Which is strange how that was the case, but it was the case.
Well, yeah, and in the 90s, I mean, literally, the term gay was coined to explain stupid, right?
Mhm.
Like, stupid, whack, people will be like, "Oh, well, that's gay."
Yeah,
It took the place
fun
of the
word.
word stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not cool, stupid, whack, whatever you wanna call it, right? But say, so in the 80s, I mean, they were, which funny enough, guys, go ahead and, take a deep dive into, the history of, who was running some of the stuff back then, with the, AIDS and HIV stuff back then. I think you'd be really surprised that,
Might recognize some names?
you might, something might, like, pop up, like, very Fauci. Um, so an interesting thing is that, like, if we look back at the 80s, um, I mean, homosexuals were outcasts, right? They were, and now this is coming from a heterosexual male
Even
with a
in
child, and
media, like, even in Hollywood,
yeah,
it was like, you kept it secret, which is
Yep.
insane to think about today.
In the military, in
Mhm.
Hollywood, at your job, in your family. I mean, there's like news, there's interviews of people finding out that a son or a family member was gay, and everyone was like, "Oh no!" Like they were like
Yeah.
mourning their loss, you know. And
Wow.
it was so socially unacceptable. There were people attacked in the street. Um, because of what people thought. Now, there's a lot more that goes with that, guys, but hear me out. We've gone from in the 80s to where it was absolutely like it was deviant behavior, right? It was sexual deviancy. It was wrong, immoral. It was causing, HIV and AIDS and an epidemic and all this stuff, right? And then we went to the 90s to where literally they use the word gay to explain something stupid or
Mhm.
worthless or whack or weird or whatever, right? And then we move forward to post the millennium and things start changing. Society starts changing. The messaging and media starts changing. Social media starts changing. And as we go through these next 20 years, what was once deviant, evil, sodomy is now not only okay, but it's encouraged. And there are literal books in schools of encouraging sexual sexual deviancy. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is to say this: what we've seen is, that occur kind of the life cycle of just 40 years with something like homosexuality, right? And then we see how it's changed from bad, wrong, evil, stupid to don't ask, don't tell to okay, you could tell, well, you can't discriminate against anyone to okay, it's okay. All right, it's okay. Not only is it okay, we promote it. We promote everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone should commit sodomy, hang up rainbow flags everywhere, right? And then I'm seeing the same type of things happen. We've seen it with trans, we've seen it with whatever, trans, queer, like all the other stuff,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
But we've also
It's
seen
crazy how
it,
quick things can change.
yes, and now we're seeing people go from chomos and pedos to minor attracted persons.
Mhm.
So
You
pedos
probably saw the
and
Google Gemini thing, yeah?
the what?
The Google Gemini. So
Uh, no, I
that
don't think.
Google has a like a Chat GPT type thing.
Yeah,
Their Chat GPT, if you ask it if pedophilia is wrong, it gives you a very long-winded answer, avoiding saying yes, it's wrong, and basically saying, "Well, no, not really." And the thing is, somebody somebody had to code things to get it to say that.
yep,
They either had to pick very specific training data to train the model on, or they had to give it specific instructions
yep,
on that specific topic. And I think that's the more likely scenario because
hmm,
the training data is more than 1,000 humans could look over in their lifetimes.
yeah,
And so it means some of the higher ups at Google Gemini, which they're spending, I think, like $1 billion on it,
mm,
um, are pro pedophilia.
yeah,
And the thing is, as these, AI chat tools become more and more common, which they obviously are,
hmm,
they're going to shape the opinions of the next generation.
yep,
And, I think pretty much all of us in here, we're of the wood chipper opinion, whatever
for
that means.
sure, yep.
Um,
Legs first.
Definitely legs first, 100%.
And this is taking something from that we look back on that was
Mhm.
bad, evil, wrong, immoral, to now being, well, they're just minor attracted persons, to
Yeah.
now just maps, right? And if they're just maps, then and it's,
Mhm.
but look at forgive the whole race aspect of it, but it's the truth. But look at a white middle-aged male or a military age male that's armed, that believes in freedom, liberty, independence. What are they called? bad, wrong,
terrorist.
racist, fascist,
Yeah.
military violent extremists, domestic terrorists. It is totally shifting
Mhm.
the perspective of I mean, truth is no longer truth, and truth is it's just it's crazy to see things just rotting
If
away like that.
if you believe in treating the races equally, that's
Mhm.
considered racist to the left now, because 'cause they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, you have to account for past." And it's like, "No, no, no. I'm just gonna be nice to everybody. Like, stop being so gay about all this."
White silence is black violence through
I
the
know.
arms.
I'm like,
But
"Oh my
that's
god."
the craziness, like, I'm telling you, okay, so if somebody is robbed and shot, what would you call them? A victim, right?
Oh, the
If
person who's
some
robbed and shot, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
If
was thinking of the other
somebody
person.
Yeah, like, dirtbag.
I was
If
like, "Criminal
somebody
scumbag,
Yeah, right. If somebody is
fertilizer,
raped, what do you call them? They're a
victim."
victim, right?
Mhm.
If somebody is, beat up, jumped, or whatever, or anything,
Any
right?
act of violence.
Yeah, they're a victim. If somebody is sexually assaulted by an adult as a child, what are they called? They're a victim. So why are we taking people like CRS firearms, for an example, a crime with no victims at all, and they're boom locking them away for 5 plus years because of whatever they think the truth is, but then they're taking something that has actual victims with
And saying,
lifelong
"Well,
consequences.
this is not necessarily wrong."
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can't help it. They just love fucking
they're
babies.
born this way.
Dude, it's
Uh,
insanity, man. It is upside down world. It is
yeah,
crazy. It is clown world, and it's nuts. Sorry, this wasn't the
yeah.
conversation I anticipated having, but it's important to discuss.
It's a line in the sand that we can never cross. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, social and cultural changes that, we might have medium to strong opinions on that comparatively just don't matter. But that's something that is not just wrong, but evil, and not even from a religious perspective. An
Mhm.
atheist, uh, I mean, a Satanist should be able to look at that and say that's wrong. It. I don't think you need any guiding principle to be able to recognize something that evil as being evil.
Yep. Yep.
And so when you see people trying to justify that type of stuff,
Mhm.
that's
Danger
something
zone
that deserves violence.
for sure. Warsaw says you keep telling a lie, it becomes truth. I think to the general public, yes. So here's, and I don't know if he was the one that specifically said probably, but here's an interesting thing. I never thought that I would take life advice from the first Men in Black movie, but and not life advice, but like there was a quote Tommy Lee Jones in the first Men in Black movie, um, who he said, I think it was Will Smith that said something like, you know, uh, people are smart, right? And Tommy Lee Jones it said the person is smart, but people collectively are
Yeah,
stupid and panicky, and it is so true. I don't remember the exact
and
quote.
easily manipulated.
Yes, and that is what we're seeing, and we're seeing I literally saw today, this morning, somebody was talking about gun control and how, "Oh, we need to be like all these other countries that just, willingly give up their guns," and then someone cited an article in the New York Times, and it said, Serbia had 2 mass shootings in a week, so all of the Serbians voluntarily gave up all of their guns.
Voluntarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
right.
I read that, and then I'm like, "Hold on, this is fishy. Something doesn't sound right, right?" And then I read through, and then it's like, okay, so this person said all of the people in Serbia voluntarily gave up all their guns. I read through, dude, they were
No
collecting.
one hates journalists enough.
Oh,
You may
dude,
think you do, but you don't.
It is evil. The manipulation is
Yeah.
evil. Now that goes up so much further, taller and higher than we can ever. Yes, Z, thank you for putting me onto that. Dude, there's an artist. He did Money Game 2, Money Game 3. I think there may even have been a fourth one, but it's oh man, I'm gonna totally draw a blank on Ren. His name is Ren X, and he is an
Oh yeah, he's
incredible
got some good
artist.
stuff.
Yeah, he's super based, and yeah, it's a really good track. Money Game 3. But but anyway, yeah, that problem goes way up higher and taller than we could ever imagine, and it's not just the journalist, it's the machine, right?
Mhm.
But I forgot where I was going with it, but man, it's crazy. I mean, how easily somebody can. Oh, that's right, this woman on Twitter. So she read the headline, and she may have read the first few sentences, but if you read the article, they were collecting illegal, unregistered firearms from criminals. Like that's it. And there were like 9,000 firearms collectively.
Uh-huh.
All that was all that was collected.
Has nothing to do, completely different from the headline, but people read the headline.
Exactly. So now she took it as gospel,
Yeah.
she took that information, she's running with it, and she's posting it in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So now people believe they're equipping themselves with information. They go out and say, well, in Serbia, everyone just gave up their
Mhm.
guns, right? And other people are like, well, didn't Australia do that in the 90s? Like the US is so far behind. Like, no, you guys don't understand. You're not actually looking for the information, and they believe they're well read, and they go out and have arguments, and we don't even know. We can't even convince people of the truth because we don't do enough research either. And we get in, all of our emotions about, stupid stuff. But the best thing, I'll end kind of this segment on this. The best way that I've heard this said is by Risky Krisky. Um, which shout out to him. He got totally screwed over by YouTube. They took his channel,
Yeah.
took him down, and it's messed up. But he had said, at this point and at this stage, there is absolutely nothing they will do to stop, because they have committed mass murder. They've literally committed genocide. They have committed acts where viruses may have been, you know, used. They've committed
So true.
manipulation, they've committed treason, they've committed, I mean, and every single thing that was listed was an offense that, if you're guilty of, the punishment is death. So how could they ever stop? They
Yeah.
can't. They can only escalate.
I mean, you gotta cover something like that. It's like if you get caught in a lie and you keep lying, well, if it's a big enough lie, what are you gonna do? Like, you're not, so
Yeah.
there's a place where there's no coming back.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Crazy. Um, well, welcome to DLD After Dark, 3DRs.
Oh, hey, DLD.
That was a very good
Sorry.
conversation. So you've been developing, you've been a CAD daddy for a little
Yeah,
while
Daddy.
now.
It's the name
Y-
my mother gave me.
yep. When you started life as a baby.
Mhm.
Uh, and so funny thing, a lot of people may not know this, but you kind of became internet famous because of your 50 BMG 3D printed lower, which brought you to where you are now. So let's talk
Yeah.
about kind of some of your projects, and then we'll get into what you got going on now and what you got launching soon.
Yeah. So if you you guys follow PSR on Instagram, you've maybe seen a couple of reels he posted the past week or so. With this guy in them, shooting a 50 BMG. Uh,
Hmm.
basically what it is. Um, I was working on designing some stuff, and the stuff I was working on was difficult and had lots of issues. So I was like, I wanna. Oh, hey, Safety Harbor.
Safety
By the
hub.
way, these lowers are 100% compatible with the uppers sold by Safety Harbor Firearms.
Oh,
We have,
nice.
we have
They
shot it.
work with the SHTF 50.
Mhm. Yep.
Nice.
You
That's
can even use
awesome.
the version that has the mag on the side. I don't have the mag version, but I think I might get another one so I can have the mag because oh, that'd be so nice.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
Um,
shout out to Safety Harbor Firearms. Walt, you're the man.
yeah.
Hey, madam.
So yeah, Safety Harbor Firearms, they sell these 50 BMG uppers that are made to go on your AR-15 lower,
Mhm.
which is kind of a wild thing, but it works and it's awesome. We did speak at the IV8888 shoot. It was cool.
Yep.
Um, and so I was like, I could totally 3D print a lower, and all it would have to do is accept the recoil from those lugs.
Mhm.
And to make it be able to do that, you just have to make it thick enough, because your shoulder can accept that recoil. And
Mhm.
so it's basically taking the same amount of oomph as your shoulder does. So it's like, okay, how thick of plastic does it take to be able to handle more than my shoulder could handle? And it's like, okay, that's definitely possible. And it's not going to be that bad. And so
Yeah.
I just took the basic dimensions for an AR-15 lower, cut out all of the stuff you don't need for a bolt action upper, beefed it up, added a stock, and started shooting. Um, Posted a video of it. It was like the first or second thing I posted on my Instagram.
I remember
Uh,
that.
yeah,
I remember
and
the watermelon.
yeah, dude, that was a fun video. Then like the next day, I'm at work and I check my phone, and I like just made my Instagram page. And all of a sudden I had like 2,000 people following me, and I was like, "What? What's
Yeah,
happening?"
that's crazy.
And it's like, yeah, obviously for like some people, like you look at people who have like a million followers, and it's like, okay, 2,000 is not that much, but like going
That's
from
a lot.
0 to 2,000, I
That
was just
that's
like,
that's a
whoa.
lot. I think I have less than 2,500 followers on IG, and you're crushing it. I also haven't been, although PSR has been on my show, I have not been featured in a PSR video. So you got that going for
Ooh.
you.
That no, that really did. Yeah, so he shared that like first video, and honestly, that's probably where like 1,500 of the
Mm,
2,000 came from,
nice.
um, which was cool. So yeah, I started with that 50. Um, I started making YouTube videos. I was getting strikes for all of them, so I kind of been lazy about that, and I haven't really done videos much in a while now. I've been focusing just more on the CAD and the development.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, so the 50 was the thing that like people initially noticed me based on,
Hmm.
and then I started doing 12 gauge semi-auto, and I haven't finished that project. I'm gonna go back to it, but I've kind of moved to other things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was a really, really cool design though. It that
yeah,
definitely can't die. Don't let it
I wish
die.
I could. I probably can't pick it up. It's sitting right there. One of them. Actually,
You
you can
know,
see. You see that little green thing right there
oh
that I'm
yeah.
not touching? That's the
Hmm.
stock of one of my semi-auto 12 gauges.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My room is filthy.
Oh, you should see my gun room. You got some really cool stuff on that build plate right there.
I do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like a gun at all. So I'm just gonna hold it up. I mean, technically, none of these pieces are a gun.
Yeah.
Um, this more or less was kind of the next thing that I did that people thought was real cool. Um, Probably doesn't look like much right here,
Oh, it
but
is.
this is a pump action AR-15. Um, the whole reason why I did it is because so I like taking things that don't initially seem like they're doable or that no one has done
Mhm.
and finding a way to do it just to show people like, hey guys, you can make a printed lower that can handle 50. You can do 12 gauge semi-auto in a printed format.
Mhm.
What it was for this thing was I wanted to print a bolt carrier. And so I knew I was going to have to make so it wasn't semi-auto for it to hold up for more than, a couple rounds.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, let's do a straight pull bolt action, which evolved into a pump action.
Mhm.
And we have this. It's just a bolt carrier with some little modifications. A threaded rod goes through these holes in the front, the top ones, the little ones. And
So hang on for 1 second. I need people to understand this. So guys, what 3D Arms is talking about is taking an AR and being able to completely print the lower, the upper, the pump action,
the
the
hand guard,
the hand guard, the bolt, the I'm sorry,
not quite the bolt.
the bolt carrier, sorry. The bolt carrier is 3D printed. That is
Class.
insane. And it's a bufferless system too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, sorry, keep going.
And so this one's nylon, but in PLA, I personally have put more than 1,000 rounds on a single PLA carrier, and like there's no issue whatsoever.
Dude,
Um,
when I first so when I was at IV 88, it was my first time shooting an apple pie. Prior to that, I was like, why would I ever want an apple pie, which is the pump action AR for you guys
Mhm.
that don't know. Um, I kind of was like, oh, that's cool. I think it's a really cool design. Like I was always impressed by it, but I was like, I'm not going to print it because I got so many ARs. Why do I need a pump action AR? But dude, this is so special. It's so important for people in other places that can't get access to semi-auto ARs, or it gives them the
California.
ability. Yeah, California, if they're able to get their hands on a lower, a rifle lower from some other AR that they have, they can literally take an AR in any configuration they want and completely 3D print, or if rules and laws weren't a thing, if they could completely, I mean, they can completely print a rifle with, a
Mhm.
barrel, a bolt, and some, miscellaneous parts, and then lower parts kit and stuff. It's minimal parts for a rifle that is like, when I shot it, I was so impressed.
It's a lot of
This
fun.
Oh man, I cannot wait. I'm putting together I eventually will put together a 300 blackout pump action apple pie with 308 suppressor on it, and I am probably gonna be running.
A certain LPVO.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this thing on there, and I'm gonna see if I can take that thing out to 500 yards, 600 yards. I'm gonna see how far I can push it.
Yeah. I know I've never taken one that far. The furthest I've shot one of these is probably about 100 yards. So I'm actually really curious to know how the accuracy holds up at those longer distances. Because I was
I
just
did
shooting
shoot it.
steel plate, and steel plate at
Mhm.
100 yards, I was doing fine.
Yeah,
But
I
it
shot that
did go
one.
ping every time.
Yeah, I shot that one at 100 yards,
Mhm.
at the IV-88, and I was hitting a silhouette every time, no problem.
Mhm.
And I think for, you know, hardcore precision, I'm sure,
Yeah, obviously not.
yeah, it's not gonna be like a quarter MOA, but I mean, the reality is that, like, if you can hit a silhouette at 100 yards with a 3D printed pump a like that's just so cool, man. It's so cool. Walt
And
has a good
the way you're
question here.
describing it will be so quiet.
Oh yeah.
If you're using subs, I mean, it'll sound like somebody shot a BB gun,
Yep.
maybe.
It's just gonna be
Um, I
stupid
should
quiet.
mention, for this design, I collaborated with Middleton Made.
That's right.
Basically 99% of the aesthetic of it, which if you look at it, it looks awesome. Like
Yeah.
99% of the aesthetic was Middleton made.
Yeah, you know what? We got to pull up some
He's an
pictures
awesome
here.
dude. And if you haven't heard of him, which I'd be surprised, he's got some awesome designs. Lots of Mac-based stuff, but a pretty wide variety of designs. I'd definitely check his stuff out.
Yeah, and they're all food-based
Mhm.
names.
That's why we called it the apple pie.
Yep.
When I brought the idea to him, I was like, "Hey, I'm working on this pump action upper, but right now it looks lame. Do you want to help me like finish it up, make it look awesome?" He was like, I do really like that idea, but non-negotiable has to be a food name. I was like, "All right, sure, dude."
That's
That's fine.
awesome. Yeah, this kind of has like that G36 style folding stock
Yep,
on it,
that
and
is his sauerkraut V2.
that's the sauerkraut. Okay.
Mhm.
Now that grip has been dubbed the apple pie. Is that because
Yeah, it's the grip he made for this gun,
okay.
but, it's a really comfy grip,
I have one actually.
especially if you're using a short length of pull.
Yep.
For a long length of pull, I'd use one with a little more angle, but, any type of shorty, which is mostly what I shoot, honestly,
Hmm. Yep.
it feels really good. And so
So
you see it on there's probably 50 times as many apple pie grips as there are apple pies.
dude, I printed one and I printed one in PLA plus. I almost exclusively run Duramic PLA plus.
Mhm.
Um and I printed one in PLA plus in black Duramic matte black Duramic PLA plus. Uh on accident I printed it at like almost nylon settings. I just wasn't paying attention.
Llama hot.
Dude, it was so shiny black, it was hilarious. There's so many errors in it, but I mean, it would still work.
Yeah.
I haven't, found the heart to actually put it on a lower, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna print another one. They're just so cool, man. They're very straight. There's actually been a lot of research put into the more straight style grips, and for CQB, short length of pull,
Mhm.
little bad guy guns,
If you're
right?
like this
Yeah.
is the natural position for you to be in. Not
Mhm.
this
Yep.
feels weird.
Yep.
Now, if you got a really long length to pull, it is more natural to be more canted. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I could weld a pipe on my AR lower, I
Mhm.
love it as straight as possible. Um, However, I've learned over time that like you're saying, for some guns, especially even guns that may be shorter but are very heavy. I had an ergo grip that was extremely straight, and I mean, it was
Mhm.
almost pipe like. And I ran it for the longest time, but it had zero support that goes up the back of the lower, where in the web of your hand, you get a like
Oh,
in between your
yep.
thumb and index, where you get some extra support. And I recently switched over to more of a like standard, Magpul.
Like a
Um,
K2 or whatever.
yeah,
K5,
and
I think,
dude,
something like
night and day. I mean, it's so much more support, and
that. Mhm.
it's better. So, I don't want to trick anybody into thinking like,
It's not for every gun.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on depends on some things.
You tried the Hoffman grip?
I've not actually. I have not tried
It's
the
the
Hoffman grip.
other one I recommend a lot. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Let me see.
It's a little thicker, a little beefier. If you look at any of his modern lowers, they have it integrated. But it's the exact same thing as you would see on any of his like current gen lowers.
I'll have to pull that up and take a look. Dude, this is dope. This is
Yeah.
like a nerf or nothing.
Mhm.
I obviously he wanted to get his feats in the picture there, but dude, this is I do think that in some places putting an orange tip on a real firearm is actually a no-go.
I might be seeing something different than you're seeing. I'm seeing a Reddit page with the apple pie on it.
Oh. Oh, psh, what in the heck? Look at me making all these dang old mistakes. Okay, here we go. So
Yeah.
look at that, man.
Yeah, dude.
dude, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yep.
You know what? When we're talking about the upper we were talking about, would you be down to help me with some sauerkraut on my wiener?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that would be super helpful.
You is the lower it would be on, do you want a brace or a stock? I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, you know what?
Either one's an option.
I think I actually kind of need one of each because so
Okay.
right now I don't have a second machine for nylon. I was using Rich's um, machine for nylon, and I would love to have one stock for another project and a brace
Mhm.
for the apple pie.
For the shorty. Mhm.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, the
Sabar.
sauerkraut does come in stock and brace versions. Allegedly not a drug pouch.
I would show you guys the other one, but I don't want to. Here, I'll block this. Allegedly a pencil pouch for my daughter.
Oh, it has her name. I was like, what's the
Yeah, like what could it
yeah.
be? It
I'm like, what's so offensive that it couldn't
yeah, no, it's not. Dude,
no.
if you guys want to support Sabar, okay, get this. So he's doing these allegedly not a drug pouches. And not only for I think they're like 25 bucks, okay? He literally hand makes these and then he hand waterproofs them with beeswax. And not only do you get the allegedly pencil pouch, you also get a Sabar charm that you can hang on your 3D printed
Nice.
burners too. So, yeah, it's super dope. Shout out to him. I really want to do a mac and cheese.
Yeah. So he has a V2 mac and cheese that's currently out. And what's cool about it is it actually has last round bolt hold open.
Nice.
It also has an Ambi magazine release, which I helped with.
Hey,
Um, yeah, yeah, we're tight. He's my boy.
nice.
Um, and but I'm pretty sure he's shown some renders and stuff. So I think I can talk about this. He does have a version 3. It's not like to the point where I don't think he has firing prototypes yet, but he has a version 3 that's going to be really cool.
Nice.
Um, I want to say a bunch of stuff, but I'm not entirely sure what he's said yet. But
We could
version 3 is going to be better than version 1 or version 2.
okay, okay. There was one who is the Scarab Black Lotus Coalition?
No, Scarab is Swarm Tech.
Oh, Swarm Tech.
Another
Okay.
one of my favorite people.
Nice. Yes.
So his uses like the original lower parts kit and puts the mag in the grip, kind of like the original Mac aesthetic. He
Mm-hmm.
has a V1 and a V2. V2's just a little more like space age looking.
Yeah.
Um, Visually, I like the V2 a lot.
The V2 is
It's
the
on
one
my
that
team.
has it's like it has like an upper enclosure on it, right?
Yes.
Dude. Okay, so I just saw
It's
one of
so
those.
nice.
It was on Serialist. Oh, we were on there together.
Yeah, the like watermelon looking one.
Yes, it was like bluish and red, and it had like the watermelon or strawberry fake
Mhm.
can on it. Dude, that whoever did that, man, I
That was
give
the
you
man
props.
himself.
Oh, that was
Swarm
his?
Tech. Yeah, one of
Dang.
his. Yeah, yeah. Swarm Tech did that one.
Dude, no, I was talking about whoever did that build and submitted it like that.
He
That
did.
was
He did.
okay, okay. Well, shout out to you, Swarm Tech, because I was so impressed with the print quality was on effing point. The colors, it looked like it was like clear coated. I mean, that
Yeah.
it was
It looked
gorgeous.
delicious. I
Yeah,
mean,
we all said
honestly,
we wanted to put
I
it in our
want
mouths.
every gun I see, I want to put in my mouth. But this one made me want to simultaneously put it in and not put it in my mouth.
Yes, yes, as quickly
It
as
brought me
possible.
joy. I felt
Yeah.
something.
Dang, Rudy Finney with the super
Rudy.
chat. Dude, he just comes in and does these mic drops. He doesn't even say anything. He's just like bam. And dude, Rudy, I gotta
Your
say,
voice
he
are
he
the only message I need.
right? Yeah, dude, So it's been difficult. I've been going through a lot with getting my store shut down, and for all of you guys that don't know,
Losing
there
your
was
entire
this whole
income,
thing.
basically.
Hmm?
Losing, like, most of your income, like, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah, all like literally almost all of it, and thinking that I could get it back up in a few days. Then a few days turns into a business week. Then a business week turns into a week. Business week and a weekend, and then another business week and weekend. And it's like, dude, that's you know, if I give so
Yeah,
much credit to Jonah with Big Mac Customs. Jonah literally has sat down and like walked me through and talked me through everything, helping me set up my website, getting it reset up, and you guys jumping in and helping and supporting and just I never want to just ask for cash. That's why I started the store so you could buy something that would
mhm.
support the channel instead of just throwing money at me, right? But Kurt jumped in. He bought a DLD Glock barrel, another one. Drew has been a huge help. Like you guys, all the support you guys have given me, man. I am so. Oh, and you know what? And I'm so sorry. I did not remember. I didn't see it last stream that I did. I did not see that Kurt sent a $50 Cash App to me and it said like F YouTube, I don't want them to take half of it. Like, dude,
Mhm.
Kurt, shout out to you. Thank you so much. All of you guys have just been so incredibly supportive. Rudy, shout out to you. I owe all of you everything. Thank you so much.
What is your chat Cash App, just in case anyone's wondering?
If you click on the description, it is in the first line of the description. I think it is it not dark? Oh, it's $ the dark DARK Mavis MAVIS the dark Mavis. And thank you guys. And even when like John Rice, his house burned down recently, and everyone jumped in to help support him and help get him back on his feet. He's working on moving the Give Send Go over to him so he can get the cash out. And you guys are awesome, man. I appreciate all you guys so much. Yeah, Kurt, thank you. There you go. Appreciate you.
Kurt 24.
Dude, he's straight up G, straight up G. Um, all right, so the apple pie. Now you have an apple fritter as
Yeah.
well, right?
So the distinction is really just the
Thank you,
size.
Kurt. Yeah.
Um, the apple pie is 10-inch barrels and longer. The apple fritter is 7-inch barrels and longer. And there are some compromises you do have to make to get that shorter version.
Hmm.
But basically, I got it to where, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay.
So this is an apple fritter grip. And you notice this part looks a little funky. It's just because having your hand all the way canted like that on a short grip, like close to you,
Yeah.
does not feel good. When it's out far, it feels great. And
Hmm.
so this kind of gives you that angled foregrip. Um, I'll probably include a version that's just straight vertical with
Oh,
a
nice.
disclaimer of, by the way, don't show anybody.
Yeah.
Um, that.
Is that glass filled nylon? Or how do
Yeah.
you get the gray color?
So this is Polymaker PA6 GF, and they actually only make it in gray.
Oh, wow.
Um, what's really cool about this is you
Hmm.
can dye it almost any color.
Mm.
You can't go lighter, but you can go darker. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, one of my most recent posts is a purple gun. If you want to pull that up, you'll be able to see like really well
Yeah, I'll
what
pull it
this
up right
gray
now.
can do.
And thank you, Sabar, for dropping my OnlyFans in there.
Big dick.
Big decks, no bush. Okay,
Yeah. I
3D
was gonna
editing.
say your new website, it started with OnlyFans. What was that about?
Yes, OnlyFans, 6 inches or less.
SBRs only. Yeah.
Ooh, that 37 mic. Sorry. Okay, so I see the purple. That looks like the Scorpy, Evo, thing you did. What
Yeah.
call it?
The Bobcat.
The Bobcat. Now that's the 9 mil delayed Bluebic
Flapper delayed.
Fapper
Yeah,
delayed.
flapper delayed. Can you hold it off?
And look at that PSR, man.
Boy,
You guys are besties. That's
we are.
awesome.
Yeah, we hung out a couple weekends ago. It was pretty sweet.
He's a he is an individual with a remarkable history that
Mm,
no one would ever guess. And I had people that came in to watch the show when he came on my channel, and they were like, "Dude, I learned more about PSR in that time, like when he came on the channel, than I
mhm.
did. I've seen him anywhere, everywhere. I haven't seen him on other shows, and but just he's a very interesting individual
Yeah. Yeah, he even if you exclude all of the 3D printed gun stuff and YouTube stuff, he's still one of the most interesting people you'll know.
for sure.
Really cool dude.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
he likes 3D printed guns, so
Yeah, yeah.
extra.
And he is a pro behind Fruity Loops. This
Yeah,
dude with his
his
music
music
is,
is legit.
yeah, it's insane. So
Oh,
talk
sorry.
about this
Well, what I was
grand
gonna say,
yeah, this
um,
granddaddy perp. Oh dang, you got all my okay, so Hoffman, Guns
yeah.
from the Grave, X7 Studios, that's my
Oh, you
guy.
know X7?
Yeah, yeah, that's my
Dude,
guy.
yeah, I'm friends with him. He's cool.
Nice. Yeah, he's a hell of a guy. He leads a very interesting life as well.
Does.
Yeah, yeah,
Man
that's cool.
travels nonstop.
Literally nonstop. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So that entire gun was printed in this.
Oh, no way.
So it was entirely printed in gray. And so the gray parts you see, the accent pieces,
Mhm.
that's off the printer. The rest, I just dunked it in a tank of RIT dye.
A
Um,
and are you doing just regular RIT dye, or are you using the
so
specific synthetic dye?
um, it turns out, and this is very counterintuitive, it works better if you don't use the synthetic. The
Interesting.
co the synthetic that says it's for nylon, the reason why is the synthetic, you have to get it really hot, and you're liable to warp the print with that.
Mm.
The all-purpose works at much cooler temperatures.
Yeah,
Um,
usually like 170 to 190, and you're getting in there.
yeah, so for the
Fahrenheit.
all-purpose, I would just say warm. Like, you should be able to put your hand in it.
Okay. All right.
Um,
So you think because typically if I'm doing like standard polymer,
yeah, so,
I'll
like, if you're doing a P80, you'd get it pretty hot.
yeah, it would basically be floating around 190 to 200.
Mhm.
If I were
Basically,
doing
oil, turn it off for 2, 3 minutes, go.
yeah, exactly. And I'll keep low heat on it, but you gotta be cautious. You gotta be aware of the temperature. You gotta be cautious and make sure that if you are keeping heat on it, that
Gotta touch the sides.
yeah, if you leave it side down on the metal, man, you may be in some trouble. So I've done a few frames, but I have not done anything 3D printed. I actually didn't even rattle can or paint anything 3D printed
Yeah,
until recently. I just did my first Alumahide job on a, a Neutron Nick 43X frame.
nice. I did, the 50 that I shoot in PSR's reels, I Aluma-hided it.
Nice.
Yeah, I
And
like that stuff.
did you cook it on or did you just let it air cure?
I put it in a warm onion oven, not as hot as they recommended,
Mhm.
but, like, hot-ish.
Yeah, because they recommend either a 14-day air cure, which is insanity,
Forever.
or yeah, for forever. That's their way. It's like the shelf life on freeze-dried food. It's like this is a 30-year shelf life. Like that's just
Mhm.
forever. Um, or or 3 hours at 170, 175,
I
something
think
like that.
that's what it was, yeah.
So, so you put I was a little nervous to put something 3D printed in the oven.
Is that
And
the way you did it?
No, I just let it air cure, and the thing that
That's what I
sucks.
if you're not in a hurry, do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so the error that I made was, I painted it rails down,
Mhm,
and, I, it was a very light color frame, and I wanted it black just because, black is great,
mhm.
and, I missed some spots because I just did it real quick, like, right? And, the way Alumahide is a very interesting thing to where it bonds together, and if you don't get your second coat on it within 30 minutes or less, then it will be very obvious if you came back 2 hours later and did a second coat and,
Like peels and bubbles if it's not
yeah.
either in 30 minutes or fully cured.
Exactly. Yep. So you have to come back and if you are going to do a second coat, it needs to be fully cured, and you are going to be better off completely hosing the whole thing down and hiding the sub layer.
Mhm.
Yep. I love printing shit, man. Or
Yeah,
I mean, I love printing shit. I love painting shit.
yeah. Normally, I just use, like, the Walmart rattle cans, but if I want something,
Yep.
like, nice, the
Hmm.
Alumahide is better.
Dude,
A
it's
lot more
impressive.
durable too.
Yep. Now I did have so somebody had asked this, they said that, um, they used Alumahide, and for anyone that's into printing guns, this is important. Excuse me, painting guns, this is important. Oh my goodness, that's about to fall. Hold on one second. Uh-oh, don't fall. Don't fall.
Boys, I'm really curious what it is that
My apologies.
I gotta know. What was it?
Is this girl I've had tied to the bed for the last few
Okay, good,
days.
good.
Yeah, she's okay though. You
Hey, what
shut up.
headphones are those?
I'm just kidding. These are the AF literally AT. No way. Bro, do we have the same setup? We got the same setup, bro.
Dude, are
If
you
you
for
read the
real?
right, yeah, if you read the right side, it says AF.
Mine says ATHM50X. They might be a different model, but they're very similar.
Yeah, no, mine says ATHM20X.
Okay. So yours is the M20, mine's the M50. I honestly don't remember what the difference is, but they're
Oh,
basically the same
M50.
headphones.
Dang, you got that 50. Got that
Yeah,
50.
girl. You
Yeah,
know
no,
me.
so I
You know
have
me in
a
my 50s.
I have a rack that's hanging on my door,
Yeah, you do, girl.
and and it just, I guess, like walking past it, bumping into it, it was just like and it was just like, I mean, like a sliver away from taking a dirt nap. Um so yeah, so my bad. Going back to what we were saying. So for people out there that plan to paint their guns, it doesn't matter if they're printed or built or assembled or factory. If you plan to print oh my goodness, paint your stuff, print guns too, but also paint them. Um, I had some people recently say that they tried Alumahide, but when they went to squirt their when they went to squirt their load, when they went to squirt the can, it started shooting out like silly string all over the place.
I had that happen once.
So you always do test squirts. You got to squirt your load somewhere else first
Mhm.
before you go point
Yeah.
it at the object that you're going to paint. And here's what I learned. So, and for the guy, he goes by the end is near beware. Funny enough, if anyone out there, if you're out there, the end is near beware, or anyone else that's used Alumahide, what he had done was he, because there are temperature restrictions on the can. It says you can paint, basically if it's under 65 degrees or over 95 degrees, don't paint, right? And or that it could impact your your finishing, your whatever results. Anyway, so he had put the can in front of a space heater because he was like, well, in the past, if I'm painting in the cold, putting the spray paint can in front of heat source has helped, but this cures with heat. So it started curing in the can. So when he went to shoot it
Ah,
out, it was silly string. Now, I didn't have it in a heat source at all. I actually had it in a cold garage for a very long time. So I have no idea why, but it squirt out. Thank God I did a test area first. I was like, I'm not going to ruin a frame,
a
even if it's
perfect
just
frame.
squirted. Yeah. Um, but I did a test area first, and it just hosed out a whole bunch of.
Mhm.
Hey, Zippy, good to see you.
It was yellow too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a flat, dark, earthy, kind of beeswaxy looking color.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to you?
Yeah, so I painted 3 frames at the same time, 350 frames, so big things. 2 of them totally fine, and I did each one different color.
Mm,
But one of them, and I think it was the 3rd one I did, it just did that silly string thing. Um, I just wiped it off because I didn't shoot it to the side, I shot right on.
yeah, yeah.
Because I was like, I just did 2 frames.
Yeah,
I
you're
know what
good.
I'm doing.
Was that the
It was
first
just
time ever using it?
that
That
can you
can?
mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
that can.
Um,
I wonder if, like, Brownells
uh,
is I think they're, like, improperly storing it or putting it near heat sources
mhm.
or something, because I had it in a garage that was sub 50 degrees and lower
I mean,
for
my 3 cans were in the same place.
interesting.
So,
Yeah, I think it's them. Brownells, get your stuff together,
fixed it.
guys.
Um, but yeah, then I just wiped it off and I did a regular then I sprayed it and it worked fine. But
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
You know what I love doing? Like, I love doing, I'll show you. Can I show you?
Show me, baby. I wanna see it.
Let me whip it out. Hold on one
Oh,
second.
it's
I think it's over
huge.
here.
Wow.
Come
I've
where are
never
you?
seen one this
Where
big.
are you?
No, I'm not just saying that. 3 inches is enormous. What are you talking about? Th That's like 2 more than I've ever seen. Yeah. But the can still worked fine after that. So I don't know. Yeah. It was alright, not a big deal.
So, anyone out there that knows me, they know that I'm a fan of Battle Worn. Okay,
Yeah.
and I've been mastering my Battle Worn paint jobs for a long time. I've also been working at, like, doing them as fast as I possibly can. So I'll do a demonstration live on camera right now. Okay. So here is an OEM Glock 24 round magazine. Okay. Now this, if you wanted to do like a gray battle worn, what you do, you want to find a flat surface, set it down, and then you'll end up with something about like this. I know I could probably do it quicker, but oh shucks. But yeah, that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm just kidding. So this is man, the camera is not really picking up the yeah, it basically looks
A little
okay.
bit.
You know what? This will help. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So this is the black one. This is the not black one. And it's the base coat is gray. It is the stainless gray, um whatchamacallit, alumahide. But then after you cure it, what you do is you take black rattle can, and this one's been really beat up, so it's getting back down to the finish and stuff. But if you take the rattle can, go back over it, and then wipe it down with a mixture of alcohol diluted by water, you can get some incredible results. I have
Mm.
some lights that I did.
So just straight vodka.
Yes, exactly. Some
Yo,
lights.
that looks really good.
I wish I could show everything. Hang on. this one. I just want to make sure I don't. Right. And it's just, it's got a cool look to it, you know? And hopefully all is okay there. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's just cool, man. And you know, being able to take any light color and then hose it down with black and then wipe it down, let it dry. I wouldn't cure it a second time. You can, because spray paint doesn't cure like um like Alumahide does. Um, but after that, after it completely dries, you can then take sandpaper to it. You could take the green, what's that green spongy stuff?
Scotch Brite.
Scotch Brite, and you can kind of start to wear it in the flat places, and it gives you like a dope battle worn look. So I could take this gray battle worn and hold this with gray battle worn mag, gray battle worn light, gray battle worn barrel, gray battle worn optic, and it's like, oh, that's dope. So yeah,
Get
it's
into
cool.
battlecock type.
Yes, as much battlecock as I can. I wish I could afford
You
a
can fit.
battlecock frame.
Yeah, he makes amazing stuff. It's
Dude.
his are legitimately works of art.
Oh, for sure,
It's-
definitely works of art.
Yeah, they're very impressive.
Yeah, really dope stuff. Try getting rust on that polymer. That would be like rat rod look. Try getting rust on that polymer. How do you get rust on polymer? I do have some
Some paint, maybe
yeah,
get it to look like it.
make it look rusty. That'd be dope. I did a whole AR build in with the frag out designs upper and lower. The entire build is that gray black battle worn. It is so dope. I actually have some pictures here. Let me see. Downloads.
Ron explained having like iron red as the base and then like black on top of it.
That would be pretty dope.
Yeah, that'd look cool.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, that was I opened it up on the first one. So it's not like the best picture, but it still gives you an idea of what it looks like. How do I do full screen here? Enter full screen. So this is the how do I close that? Thank you. How do I zoom in on this BI?
Yo, that's it.
Yeah,
It's got like a, I don't know what it's called. That old school, like
like a patina kind of.
like they do on like really nice shotguns.
Oh, like
Or like
scrolling.
guns you see. Yeah, scrolling. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so this is man, the pictures just don't do it justice. You know, the handguard looks way doper than that in person. But the upper and lower are definitely the highlight of this build. This is Frag Out Design Studios does some of the best engraving work in the business. He drew that scrolling by hand on an iPad, and then he uploaded that to a machine,
Lasers it
laser.
on.
Yep. And then that's the upper and lower that I got. Painted it because it's raw aluminum when it's lasered. Um, Painted it, cooked it on. Then I did all the battle worn. Dude, in person, it looks so epic, dude. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, man, I love this thing. And it is a fire build with a Noveski barrel, Noveski gas block, you know,
Gideon Optics
Noveski,
Mediator.
yep, Gideon Optics Mediator. It's got like really high quality stuff on it, and the upper and lower, even though they are a frag out designs build, it's a poverty pony upper and lower.
Mhm.
It's an Anderson, and man, those things will still run, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you got to love that.
Yeah.
Um,
Upper and lower is not the part that makes the gun better or worse.
yeah,
For ergos, yeah.
yeah,
Ergos and ambi stuff, but not for functionality.
yeah, for sure.
Not for lethality or accuracy or any of that.
Bingo. Sorry. So let's go back to your
Yeah.
Fapper delayed. So, tell me a little bit more about that because that's you've been working on that for a little while now.
Yeah. I probably switched to working on this design a little over a year ago. And what it is, so when I was working on the 12 gauge, I came up with a delay mechanism.
Hmm.
Um, and when I say I came up with, I wasn't the first person to think of it, it turns out. Um, a German man who worked for Mauser thought of it about 100 years prior, but it never made it into any like commercial firearms. It was just prototype stuff.
That is so
Um,
cool.
but he called it flapper delay. And so now I call it flapper delay because he named it.
Yeah.
Um, it was like Friedrich Nickel. I have his name written down somewhere, but
Mm,
regardless, um, basically the way it works is you have some divots cut out on the bolt,
mhm,
and there's some bearings that press into those divots crazy hard.
mhm.
And so for that bolt to move and get the bearings to pop out of the divots just takes a ton of force. Now, most delays work based on something called a mechanical advantage, which
Mhm.
is functionally the same as like using a lever. So, like if
Okay.
you take a pry bar, a crowbar, and like pry a door open, you're using a lever.
Yeah.
Um, and the way most delays work is a crowbar in reverse. It's pushing on the short end, um, and the long end has its force, the resistive force multiplied. This delay doesn't work that way. Delays that work based on a mechanical advantage are better. Yeah. So what Nopal did for the RBC9 is roller delayed, which is a mechanical advantage.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and so mechanical advantage delays are better, but they require more precise machining. It blows my mind that Nopal was able to get it to work with the RBC9.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I know the design isn't released yet, but it works.
Nopal was actually on John Crump Live today.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I
Yeah.
need to go back and watch that.
Talking about the Gatling gun.
Uh-huh. The Gatling gun, I watched his Out of Battery episode. Basically, it's kind of like 6 apple pies with a gear system that pumps them for you as it goes around.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
So
was
then
curious
Mhm.
how kind of some of the internals worked, and that's definitely got my interest peaked. I'm pretty tempted to say F it and just
Dude,
get 6 bolts, 6 barrels, and just go to work.
it's a huge commitment, but it's an incredible project.
Dude, I mean,
So
so
impressed by it.
yeah, crazy impressive. And the 3D printed uh links and the 3D printed delinker system, it's
The delinker system is the part that really blows my mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is incredible. Now, it because I'm unsure of this, it's just a firearm, right? It's not a rifle, it's not a pistol, it's not a shotgun, it's just a firearm. And typically a Title One firearm, which is a gun, right? It's not a rifle,
Mhm.
not a pistol, not a handgun, not a revolver, not whatever. Usually it just needs to be a total length of 26 inches or greater. The industry standard is 26 and a half inches to remove any doubt.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm curious of how short one could go with barrels to make a little
Um,
buzzsaw.
there's a company that sells a 9 mil Gatling gun, and
Yeah,
theirs isn't very long, and you can just buy it like any regular firearm.
that's true.
Um,
It may be considered a pistol. Well, no, I don't know. That's a good point.
yeah. Because it doesn't have a stock, it doesn't have a vertical foregrip. And so I think it's I don't think you actually would have that length requirement.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be curious about that. Now, of course, in these types of situations, guys, what do we not do? We do not call the ATF and ask them, because
Nope.
we've learned over time that all that does is just send you
Make
to
things
jail.
worse.
Yeah, yeah. So don't do that. Ron Bayer asks, would the modified bolts that have to be done for the M1337 be able to be reused in an apple pie?
I didn't know he modified the bolt. I thought he modified the cam pin.
So he modified the bolt, firing pin, and cam pin.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He chopped the back off it so he can make it shorter.
Yeah, but he said it
Um,
was like 0.3 inches, like a or 0.03, like very, very small amounts.
mhm. Um, it would probably work. I'm not 100% sure, but as long as you have the cam pin and forwards, it shouldn't be any different in an apple pie. The firing pin, you would need to use a regular firing pin for sure in the apple pie.
Yeah.
Um, but
Was it bench mounted? Nopal said something about a fixed mount being needed for another company's build. I'm not sure. That's a
what I'm
good
thinking of
question.
comes on two little wheels.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
the
it's Tippmann arms.
Titman arms, yeah. I I I I'm curious to know, yeah, because if so, like, I'm trying to think here. So shotguns that are not a 12 gauge firearm that's not a shotgun has to be 26 and a half inches total length, overall length, and can never have a stock attached to it. Obviously, we know rifles and shotguns have to have 16 and a half, 18 and a half inches. I don't know what it would be considered, because what I'd like to do is
So
run
the
like,
9 mil one has 10-inch barrels, but I don't know what the total length of the firearm is.
yeah, I'd be real curious about that, because if I could run like 8-inch barrels, 5.5-inch barrels, and
Uh-huh.
make a little buzz saw, like a chainsaw sized buzz saw, dude, that thing would be killer.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barton Fink. So he says, now someone needs to make us a belt fed 22 Gatling pistol. Okay, so just between us here, uh, I am friends with a remarkable developer named Invader Zip, and him and I got to the point of development. Basically, we have maximized talking in a 22 Gatling gun that is basically chainsaw size, like miniature chainsaw size, and it would. We had discussed it running on, I think 6 1022 barrels, or it could be 1022 charger barrels, which are short. And we talked about it using 1022 magazines, but we also talked about it using 22 LR belts. It could definitely be done, no question. And you could actually do it. When we talked about it, we were saying we could do it with barrel liners and printed barrels with barrel liners
Yeah.
and literal nails. Like this would be like straight up DIY. If it used a magazine, it would be really cool, because the magazine could be integrated in the grip, which would be a really, really cool thing, because it has that, an upside down BX25 magazine on top, has that kind of look to it. So we talked about that, but we haven't actually, done anything to actually develop it. But that would be cool as hell, and that's always been a goal. All gun laws are unconstitutional and racist. Absolutely.
And
100.
gay.
And gay. So gay.
Song guy.
Yeah. Okay, tell us more about your
Oh yeah.
FAP or delayed. So
So the FAPR delay. Um, what's cool about it is you can just make it with a Dremel. It doesn't take any there. You don't really need precision just printed jigs.
Where do you
And
get the bearings from?
I just get them from Amazon.
Okay.
I know Middleton Made will be selling parts kits for it. There's in the README, and this project comes out Friday. In the README, there's uh, it a link to the Amazon ones that I've usually been buying. There's some McMaster car ones that are more expensive though.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the Amazon ones work just fine. So like I just get the Amazon ones.
Yeah.
But I have tested the McMaster car and they work well too.
Nice.
They're basically skateboard bearings, but smaller, like
Okay.
a third the size. And they're just pushing really hard into those indents. So to get that bolt to move the first half inch, it takes about 55 pounds of force. And I actually did measure that. So a ton. After that first half inch, though, it just slides like normal.
Mm-hmm.
And so it delays the initial opening of the bolt without messing with the rest. Because if you mess with the rest, then you're not going to feed right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so one thing you might be thinking is, okay, if it takes 55 pounds, how am I going to pull that charging handle? The charging handle actually has a lever in it. So there is a mechanical advantage, but it's just in the charging handle.
Yeah.
So when you pull your charging handle, the first bit of pulling it is cranking the lever, which unlocks your bolt, and then it pulls straight back. And you can, lock it up, HK slap it if you want.
And somebody told me that it may be a popular tool in the charging handle.
It used to be a Allen key.
Okay.
It's actually not anymore.
Okay.
So the Allen key worked, but you had to glue it in.
Mm,
And to get the glue to be strong enough with the surface area you had to put some little nicks in the Allen key. So it was kind of a lot of work.
gotcha.
Unseen Killer actually, he really didn't like the glue idea, and he was like, "I'm going to try and figure out a different way to do this." So he made the charging handle better. He had the idea of using an M3 in there, and
M3
just
bolt.
M3 bolt with a nut on the other side, and having that be the retention.
Okay.
And it works great.
Nice.
So that's what it is now. So it's much easier.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so the idea was to make like a MP5 at home or MP5 for pours. And so your total cost for something like this, your bolt and barrel combined, you're looking at, a little under 200. You can get 9mm barrels for as cheap as like $50 in some places. A
Yeah.
good one's going to be $100. So you're at, $200, and then all your, your trigger, your nuts and bolts. Depending on where you buy all the stuff. If you get a parts kit, it'll be a little more expensive. If you source the pieces, from your Amazon kits, it'll be cheaper. You're gonna be in under $300 for the whole build.
So
And
you're
you'll have
talking $300 for the whole build, hardware, but all that stuff.
yeah.
Wow.
If you already have a printer, you can make one of these for $300.
And you had said this. Sorry, just real quick. You had said the same thing about the apple pie too, right?
Yep. Yeah, I like making things as cheap for my homies as I can. So an apple pie, you can make a full gun for about $300, and it's a really fun gun. And if you have a suppressor, it's a really quiet gun too.
Yeah.
This obviously won't be as quiet because it's semi-auto.
Unless you run some 147s or 158s through it, it still gets pretty quiet.
Yep, it does. It does. And I just today I had 1,000 of the no, actually I had 2,000 of those delivered.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing a lot more playing around with the subs.
So what's your threshold of like for beta testing things like this? When is it like, okay, this is good to go as is, like 1,000 rounds, 1,500, 200? Like what's your threshold?
So I guess let me first say, so this is being released with Are We Cool Yet? And their threshold is you need, uh, and I hope I don't get this wrong, one frame that has at least 500,
Hmm.
and then other frames that also have collectively 500. So I think 1,000 rounds is like the bare minimum you can do.
Okay.
Um, on this design, and that's honestly bare minimum. Everybody does more. So on this design, I personally have over 3,000 rounds. Um,
Ooh,
the
dang.
most on one, I know I've broken 1,000 on one of them, but I print a lot of them and I tweak things, and so it's kind of like the ship of Theseus type thing where it's like I switch stuff out, like, oh, will this be better?
Hmm.
Um, and so some of that is switching different parts out.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the other testers, he has like 600 or 700 on his, and then like probably 5 or 6 are in the around or almost 500 range.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and so collectively we're probably at like, I don't know what that comes out to, like 6 or 7,000 rounds.
Dang. That's awesome.
Um, and it works pretty great.
Yeah.
A couple like features of it that I wanted to have, and that I'm glad we got working. It has last round bolt hold open.
Nice.
The recoil is super soft, partially because of the delay, partially because I actually increased the travel distance of the bolt. So the bolt moves about an inch more than it normally would.
Okay.
Um, and there's a rubber pad, a rubber half circle or half sphere that goes in the rear of the buffer tube. So when
Hmm.
your bolt actually bottoms out, it doesn't hit something hard and stop, it hits something squishy.
Okay.
Um,
That's smart.
yeah, so all these things kind of come together to make it feel pretty soft. The weight of the bolt and buffer combo, it uses just regular AR-15, not AR-9 buffers.
Okay.
Um, the bolts themselves are fairly heavy though, and so it's still a fairly heavy reciprocating mass. So you
Hmm.
will kind of feel your gun like bounce, but you don't feel it kick. Um,
Nice.
so like your dot is going to move. It's not as you get more dot movement than with an MP5, um, but it doesn't feel like much more recoil than an MP5.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, those things barely
so
move. The MP5s
yeah,
like
they do.
barely move when you shoot them.
Yeah, I actually bought an MP5 because I wanted to be able to compare it with this gun.
Oh, nice. What'd you
Um,
get?
I got a Century Arms
AP5.
AP5.
Nice.
Also, if you watch the most recent couple of reels, PSR has done with a super safe MP5. That's my MP5.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pumped when I saw that there's a super safety for the actual MP5 lower
Mhm,
MP5. I knew that the see for people out there that may not know, the 3D printed MP5 takes an AR-15 fire control group. So the original, the OG super safety worked in that, but seeing one available for the actual HK,
mhm.
clone HK and HK clone MP5, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I currently have a BFS3 binary trigger in the MP5, and I love that thing, but I'm tempted to get super safe.
So before I got super safety for my MP5, and my MP5 does actually use an AR-15 trigger. I have a lower from Lee Sporting.
Oh,
He
okay.
sells, they're super nice.
So
Um,
it's a lower for the MP5 that takes an AR fire control group.
yes, the one I have is. I think
Nice.
there is a way to do it with the regular ones, but not the way I did it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, And yeah, so my MP5, which is a Century Arms one, I switched the lower out, so I do use an AR-15. I actually did have a binary trigger on it before. I
Mhm.
had one of the digital triggers, digi triggers binary.
Okay.
And it was incredibly fun. But now that I got the super safe on it,
Oh, it's
honestly, I don't look back.
yeah, yeah, it takes a little, you know what, here, I'll pull this up. It takes a little bit of, kinda finessing and getting your cadence down and all that to nail, a binary trigger. This is my, I just posted this short. Let me see. Just posted this short, and, this is me running my, 10.3-inch 5.56 with a can and, of course, a goon beam and, a binary trigger.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it's basically full auto speed.
Yeah, but it still takes, like, a lot of, I should probably cut that.
You gotta
Uh,
focus on your trigger and getting the cadence right.
yeah, yeah, and I actually
And you
had it.
can outrun it. You can
Yeah.
go too fast and cause malfunctions.
You can, and, interestingly enough, I had the first couple malfunctions, I've ever had with that gun. That's been, like, my workhorse for a long time,
Yeah,
probably pushing a decade.
like your bedside gun type thing.
Yeah, yep, like, almost every recent training event that I had done, that's been the gun I had with me. I funny enough, I think it was the magazine because I always run it with PMags, and I got 3 Duramags that are the same stainless, gray color that that lower is, and they all run 100%. But yeah, I had 2 malfunctions. It could have been me outrunning the trigger, but
Mm.
whatever it was,
Yeah,
it
if it
didn't like
only
it.
happens with the when you're going fast with the binary, I'd put money on that.
Yeah, yeah. So Barton Fink, it seems like something's going on with the stream. I don't know if like this is being like throttled or whatever, but I mean, we like started with like 50, 60 people in here, and chat is like not coming through. Like chat like basically
Oh,
stopped like 15 minutes ago,
yeah.
and now we're down to
Sure.
38 people. This is kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Barton Fink says a lot of people are having issues with the 316L, 316L stainless super safeties that a
Yeah.
certain company put out for
So
way too much money.
he's talking about Twin Bros.
Yep,
Um there's a few companies that sell super safeties. None of them are Hoffman.
yep,
Um he's worried about the liability, reasonably so.
yeah,
And
for
he's
sure.
totally cool with other people selling it. So
Yeah,
um there's a few companies doing it. Um Twin Bros is one of them.
yep,
And I've heard that they had a batch that was too soft of metal, either that or it just wasn't hardened. If you have
yeah,
one of those, or you're pretty sure you have one of those, you could heat it up with a torch and just drop it in some oil, like some motor oil.
yeah,
And that would surface harden it, I believe.
yeah, I think so.
Um, and so maybe worth a try. Like if you bought multiple and one of them gets all galled out, try it on the others because what do you have to lose?
Yeah, it looks like the cylinder is like CNC machined out of like some super high quality steel, and then the little tab
Never.
lever, it just looks like it was mimed out of, like
Is it the levers that are having issues? I thought it was the cylinder that was having issues.
I thought it was I thought it was well, so I don't know. I guess it
I'm
depends
not
on if
entirely sure.
yeah, I guess it depends on if they're talking about which ones they're talking about. Thank you guys for signing off in chat. Barton Fink, Mark Tucka, Mike McClune, Aggie, Zeta. Zeta, gracias por tu tiempo, mi amigo. Live life. What up? Chris Stevenson. Thanks, guys. Lightning McQueen. Senor Bob. Thanks for coming
Well,
and hanging out. Yeah, it's oh, it's both. Interesting. Okay. Still
okay.
here, beak in and out, but also supposed to be sleeping. I appreciate you guys. So he says the lever
Oh,
is bending and the cam is wearing. Interesting. Yeah.
okay.
I would say like when I got to shoot the super safety in the nylon guns, um, like the Orca and whatnot, um, I think he said that there was at least a couple, if not a few thousand rounds through them, and he was just throwing them in the cooler with
Mhm.
ice and water and
Yeah.
putting them right back up, and I was just like blown away. So I don't know if maybe just there's like a round count, you know what I mean? Like after a while, I don't know.
It it seems like, uh, if the cam isn't hard enough, it's gonna gall pretty quick because it's pushing on the corner of the AR-15 trigger.
Yeah.
And so and there's not a whole lot of surface area, so it's gotta be really hard to be able to handle it.
Mhm.
Um, and then I hadn't heard about the lever bending. That really surprises me because that's gotta be some really crappy metal because nylon will bend, but it snaps back.
So
Uh,
Lightning McQueen says 316L is soft,
is
too
that what
much
they're is that
nickel.
what they're using
Barton Fink had said that people are having issues with
with
specifically
the
with the 316L. So I
okay.
guess that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
I haven't ventured into the super safeties at all, other than shooting like other people's super safeties. But
Yeah,
um,
dude, they're awesome.
I know some folks that know machinists. So
Mhm.
leave that there. But CNT Designs at Arms, what's up, brother? 316L is a low alloy stainless steel. If you heat it to where it will take carbon, you will destroy the 316L properties. Okay, so
Okay.
is that a good thing? If you
I think he's saying it'll rust because you're
uh,
losing the stainless properties? Is that
low alloy stainless steel, if you heat it to where it
correct?
will take
Okay.
carbon, you will destroy the 316L properties. So don't heat it and quench it.
Well, I mean, if it gets galled and isn't working anyways, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the nylon, the carbon fiber nylon ones? How are those running?
You'll get it. Hoffman says you'll get a couple hundred. I've played with them. I haven't put a couple hundred, so I can't say for sure.
Mhm.
But those ones are also two position, not three position. The two position ones are pressing on a much larger, basically double the surface area. So
Okay.
it doesn't need as much hardness.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you'll get a couple hundred rounds out of one of those.
Kinda sounds similar to another popular thing that came out years back that was 3D printed that gives you a couple hundred rounds till you have to, chuck it. I've never messed around with them, but, I've heard about them.
Oh, quiet things. Is that what we're talking about?
No, no, something that you don't Google, uh, that
Oh,
you don't
okay. You don't Yankee
you
Google.
don't Yankee Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're a Yankee, don't Google it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I see. I see.
Now I've like I don't have any personal experience with those, but from what I heard, um, you usually like when you hit like 200 rounds, they're donezo. Um,
Yeah, I mean, where your sear trip is going to be hitting the plastic there, it's going to wear it for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of times people don't understand the exact mechanics around the firearms that we're using, and I would encourage anyone if you're curious about these things, spend time with the machines that you're using that could potentially one day be used to save your life, your country, your family, you know what I mean? And a lot of
Also,
people
take things apart and figure out why it's working. Figure
yeah,
out what that, in your Glock, what is that?
yeah,
What is the trigger moving that's causing the sear to do what? And how does that affect the firing pin to make it drop?
yeah.
Um,
I
I don't know,
actually
at least
it's
to me,
funny you
that's
say that.
really fun to figure out okay, how exactly and what's actually happening here.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I was doing a live stream. I think it was on my channel. It was either on my channel with the Tactical Turkeys, or I was on the Tactical Turkeys and it was their channel. But either way, someone had a question about a Glock, and they were like, why can't a Glock trigger be like a 1911 trigger? And I was like, well, and I literally had, like I probably do now, like a Glock
No PK.
trigger assembly, and I busted it out and I took it out and I had a slide and I explained, like, well, when you do this, the shark fin depresses this and then the cruciform, and then that actually pulls back, pulls back on the striker, and then as I was like showing them, like, as it pulls back on the striker, starts to go down, and then as it goes down, it lets it go, and then because the shark fin had depressed it, it goes through the whole. And then I explained everything, and people were like, "Yo, I never had any idea how my Glock worked until
Yeah.
you just obviously I didn't explain it right there very well, but sometimes we need a thorough explanation of exactly how shit works, because otherwise we don't know. You know how I learned how to detail strip and reassemble a Glock?
Marine gun builder videos.
No, actually, it was well before that. I used to work at a gun shop,
Uh-huh.
and I learned so much from Marine Gun Builder, who is currently, I would call him a friend of mine. He's an excellent person. He's one of the most kind people I've met. The guy's awesome, aside from you, of course. And um, anyway, I was working at a gun shop back in the day. This is way before I was into like building or anything like that. And I had this 19 that I carried, Glock 19, and beautiful 19, hard chrome slide. Oh, is it right here? Oh, it's too far away. Haha! Success. So, this is a Glock that my father bought for me, and I sent it out to Ford's Custom Gun Refinishing in Florida, and
That's
they did
cool.
a hard chrome finish on it, and the flats are more shiny, but the rounded points and the top are more like frosty, right?
Mhm.
And they did an excellent work on it. And this is the one that I carried forever. I still carry it from time to time. And a buddy was like, dude, that is so beautiful. I had a 26 that matched it that was actually stolen. I reported it and the police didn't do anything. When I showed them the guy who posted a picture of it with a defaced serial number on the internet,
Yep.
it's another story. Still
Why
didn't do
would they?
anything.
You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, crim's gonna crim.
Mhm.
And anyway, so a guy was like, dude, that's so beautiful. You have the 19 and the 26, they match, the back plates match, because that was about as much as you could, you know,
Back then, yeah.
upgrade a Glock back then. And he was like, can I see it? I was like, yeah, sure. Now, anyone out there, no one, unless it is like your absolute best friend or your brother or someone that needs to be armed, do not ever give your gun to anyone ever. Ever. It's just don't do it. As a general rule of thumb, there are exceptions. Anyway, I was like, yeah, sure. I was working, I was, running around the shop, I was, moving and grooving. I was like, yeah, sure, here you go. Whoop. And I gave it to him. Well, he was the gunsmith there, and I was a young, stupid kid that didn't know anything about the gun I was carrying. And I came back, and it was in
Totally
34 pieces,
disassembled.
completely disassembled. And I was like,
Dog.
dude, like, how did you? I don't even know what to do with this. Literally left with, they're all laughing, making fun of me. They're like, dude, good luck, buddy. Anyway, I left with my Glock in a literal bag, and without the help of YouTube or MGB or anyone else at that time,
You had
I
to figure it
literally,
out.
yep, I had to FitFo, and I figured it the f out, and I'm grateful for it. I'm happy for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's my little story.
Oh, man. I've done that with some guns, not with a Glock. The when I so my first My first Glock was a 3D printed Glock. It
Nice.
was one of the Gen 1 FMDAs, with the screw-on rails.
Hell yeah. Good
But
night,
I didn't
Mike.
know anything. I didn't know anything about Glocks.
Yeah.
Uh, at that point in time, the only pistol I owned was a M&P Shield. Um,
I
and
remember
I
you
had
saying that you used to carry that, right?
yeah, I sometimes still do every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I had taken it apart, but not like fully.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't really even understand how that gun worked.
It's kinda one of
Uh,
those situations where you just take the slide off and you're like, "Wow."
yeah. Yeah, like take the slide off, take the recoil spring, look at the stuff, kind of move things with my finger and go, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, yeah.
But then I get this like bag of parts and I need to put together my first Glock. Um, and yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was just going off of like a written description of like, then put this here. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, what is it? Yeah, it was pretty hard actually.
It is if you don't know, if you don't understand the whole system and why everything does what, and then imagine somebody that doesn't know anything. And this is the thing that drives me nuts about, people of opposing views that they say anyone can, build a ghost gun in 21 minutes, right? First off, imagine troubleshooting when you know nothing
Yeah.
about like the system and how it works and why it does the stuff that I see
Mhm.
all day on come through on
Yeah.
Reddit,
Yeah.
dude.
A pro can do it in that long, but it's like, yeah, P80 Ralph can put together a Glock that quick, but I'm not gonna. And like
Yeah.
obviously like you could, but Joe Blow gangbanger's not gonna.
Yeah, most of them have absolutely no idea what to do. Oh my god. Yo,
What we got?
dude. Drew. Are you serious, Drew? Hold on. What? Drew, dude, I can't accept that, bro.
Damn, bro. The Glock right there.
Yo. Oh my god, Drew. That is insane, bro. Are you serious? Bro, oh my god, I feel like I cannot accept that, dude. That's huge. Drew, are you still here?
Yeah.
Dang.
Shout
And
out to Drew.
he literally sent so I saw this message and it was like, "We got your back. Hold on." So he said, "Check your PayPal, brother. I got your back, brother. We can figure out something later once your store is back up and running." Bro, dang. Man,
Good man.
Drew, I we'll talk offline because I could not even imagine but I don't know. Yeah. He said, "Yes, serious, all good." Um, dang. Drew, what did you do? It rhymes. Yeah, we'll talk. Man, I'll pay it back after I get the shop back up and running, which I should hopefully have over the next few days or by the weekend. Dang, dude, you totally like honestly, all the shit that's been going on, like everything, like having your own business and getting it up and running, and then having that shit stripped from you, like after
Mhm.
feeling like, damn, like I feel good and confident. I can, you know, afford to live and provide for my daughter and my family, and then just to have someone just like take that from you. I was actually, funny enough, my mailman stopped by and we start talking and he's like, "You don't have any packages?" It's like, "No." He said, "You didn't have any package yesterday either." It's like, "No, I did not." Or the day before. It's like, "No, I did not, Mr. Mailman." Now this mailman is awesome, super based. I think he's from Honduras, or no, El Salvador, I'm sorry. And like when he comes by, like I give him something to drink, like I tip him all the time, like he's a good dude. And when he asked about the packages, and he was like, "You haven't had packages for like 3 days. What's going on?" And I was like, "Look, dude, some people attacked my business, and they took down, my ability to do business." And he was like, he could not grasp that idea. He was like, "Well, then why don't those people just not use your business?" And I said, "Well, no, these aren't people that use my business.
Mhm.
These are people actually that have never used my business. They don't buy."
You
And
don't
he's
want anyone to be able to use your business.
exactly. And he was like having such a difficult time grasping that people that don't know me, people that don't know
Mm,
my business, people that have never used my business, people that he was like, "I can't fathom how somebody completely disconnected from you would want to destroy you and take." And that's how it should be. Those things should never even cross our minds. We shouldn't ever want to destroy other people and take their livelihood. Like that's absurd. That's insanity.
yeah. Yeah, like, like, political people I disagree with, like, I don't want them to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
The politicians, yes, but the non-politicians,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, they're different.
Like, I want them to be able to provide for their families. Like, it's
It
it's hard to imagine having that type of hatred for someone. And, like, there's
yeah.
people and it's like, okay, yeah, sure, the quote unquote maps, the
Mhm.
pedophiles, like, yeah, obviously. But really, other than them, like,
Yeah.
there's very few people who I have actual ill will towards. It's a lot of people I disagree with, but it's like,
Tyrants and maps
yeah,
are the only ones that should, I even though people say
yeah,
like,
you
"Oh,
hurt
well."
kids, you're going.
Yeah.
But
It's so many people say like, "Well, even the police." Any police officer by definition are tyrants because they're enforcing unconstitutional. And I get that,
mhm.
and at the same time, I'm not anti-police. I'm, I'm not running
There's
around screaming
there's a
Tim the
role in
Lion.
society for people who respond with force.
Yeah.
Um, and that role needs to be done. There's a lot of cases that require that.
Mhm.
Um, if the government won't let us do it, they need to provide someone who does it. Um,
Yeah.
ideally, you'd have some degree of both, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the, you know, belief that any police officer,
Yeah, me either.
yeah, that and yes, I agree that they are enforcing unconstitutional laws and
Very free.
rules. But like I can't say that, they should hang in the gallows because of some politicians making rules. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
Yeah.
Now,
Now the
the gallows
politicians.
yes, the gallows have room for the politicians,
Yes.
tyrants and maps. That's
Yep.
that's who is deserving of, the bad stuff. But none of us want look, I think most of us that think like we do are reasonable men. And that's
Mhm.
not a play on the
On the occasional need to become unreasonable.
yeah, the Heemeyer. What's
Yeah,
the
Marvin Haymeyer,
yeah, the killdozer.
Killdozer. Yep.
It's not a play on that kind of reasonable man, right? Like I'm saying that most of us are reasonable men that don't desire conflict and violence and all that. We're willing to for our principles, but these other people that don't think like us, people on the opposing side, and I hate to say it like that because we are intentionally being divided, right? Like this is
Mhm,
it's a plan, it is a goal. And I the way that we think that we need to love each other, we need to be kind, we need to contribute to each other, we need to even to people, especially to people of opposing beliefs, right? They don't think like that. They don't think like we do. And they do want you to lose your livelihood. They do want you to lose your life, just like your government. Your government hates you and wants you dead if you think like we do, because it is you're too much of a risk. You're too much of a risk. They need control. They can't control you. Our whole thing is about being ungovernable, right?
Mhm.
So we can't exist. So yes, the opposing side does want you dead. They do want your livelihood gone. They want you to not be able to look what they're doing to
Yeah.
CRS's wife,
We
dude.
wanna be left alone, and
Mhm.
they want us not to exist.
Yeah. Yep. It's absolutely inhuman. Crazy.
Yeah.
So what are you carrying nowadays mostly?
Um, depending on what I'm wearing, it's like my small gun I'll carry sometimes is a P365.
Okay.
Um, if and that's when I carry like at work and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I wear scrubs.
Nice.
Um,
That's hot.
but if I can, I like to carry a Glock 19.
Are we talking like U-line scrubs?
Um, uh,
Did you know
some of
Dickies?
them might be. Yeah, no,
Dick
Dickies ones are pretty nice actually.
Yeah, yeah, I used to wear scrubs. It's
Um,
really hard to hide your junk in scrubs.
dude,
Y
you can always see package.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing you
I
can
can
do.
hide a gun, but I can't hide my balls.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
for
f
real.
yeah, a lot of
My
people
balls
don't know this.
always print in scrubs. They're
Yes,
not
yes.
abnormal size either, if I'm being honest. They just
Yeah,
you
just
can
normal
see it.
size. It's just they're not designed. I mean, dude, scrubs are so I wore scrubs for 2 years. A lot of people don't know this, but I was a dental assistant for 2 years. And for 2 years, I sat at the left side of hundreds and hundreds of patients during everything from, even sometimes cleanings, usually not cleanings, but cleanings,
Fillings,
cavities, yeah, fillings,
crowns.
yep, crowns. It was kind of right when like the whole lava porcelain thing was just kind of starting to pop off, but we actually had to send out crowns to get them made and leave people with temp crowns for a
Yep.
couple weeks. Now they're all made like literally in house, like
A lot of
that.
places do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But we would do like resin crowns for temp crowns and bite wings and or the bite the blue paper
Mhm.
bite thingies and then just zing 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 to
Yep.
kind of shape them out and stuff. And I did a bunch of endo stuff. That's interesting, watching a doctor cook polymer and with files inside and shove it down canals, like root canals.
Uh-huh.
um that's always been like fascinating to me, and then getting it done, knowing what was going on while they were doing that was just
Yeah.
a total mind f. um yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so anyway, so I can feel the pain of like, if you're wearing scrubs, your package is showing, there's nothing you can do. So are you carrying in scrubs?
Oh, yeah, every day.
God bless you. Do
Every
you
once in a while I forget, but not often.
what
It's rare to forget, but it does happen sometimes.
what holster? What's your setup in the scrubs?
Um, it's just a Kydex. In that gun, it's not a Vetter light tuck. I own a bunch of Vetter light tucks.
Okay.
And that's if I were to buy a holster now for it, that's probably what I would do.
Have
Um,
you looked into, so this is what I literally
oh
use
yeah.
all day in sweatpants, right?
Mhm.
It's a
The
neodymium
Magnum.
magnum. Yes, this thing, bro. So right now I have the same thing, but for a light bearing unit with a dot. And I'm in sweatpants right now, and I am carrying a 21 round 9 millimeter with
Mhm.
a Streamlight
It's a light.
TLR7 sub on it, and it's cut for a dot too. I don't have a dot on this slide, but man, these are it is so low. It's made to
Mhm.
carry super super low, so it is one of the most comfortable things that I've carried ever. It's incredible.
Hmm. Yeah, I just got a 43X that I've started carrying sometimes, and I might make the full-time switch.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I haven't shot it enough to be like, yes, this gun will be good for me.
Gotcha.
Because it's pretty new to me.
Yeah. Hey, JFC. Good to see you, bro. Need to talk. Very important. Okay. Call my mom in Beantown and leave a voicemail on the voice recorder. I'm just kidding. Yeah, dude, the JM4 tactical holsters are awesome. Um I could hook you up with the guy. He'd be able to help you for sure.
AM4 Tactical. Cool, cool,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, and they're really good about like keeping everything American based.
Mhm.
The only thing that's not American are the magnets and and
Understandable.
yeah, is opposed to going directly to China for the magnets, they actually go to a local company that buys them from China. So they're at least stimulating the economy a little bit locally,
Mhm.
knowing that they could get them cheaper directly from China. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the best holsters out there for like sweatpants carry, scrubs, uh, leggings, anything like that. Not that
Stuff where
you
you don't have a belt.
correct. Yes. And it's super, super I mean, it's in there, and you can tie scrubs, so you can still
Pretty tight.
keep it pretty tight. But yeah, I rock this thing. Like when I'm at the house, I'm 99.9% of the time I'm in sweatpants or jeans with a belt. But I still
Mhm.
wear this or the North Coast Tactical Tuck holster, or one of the Fat Tack holsters. I'm gonna have one on the way here soon. But yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. What about knives?
Um, I'm a lot more sporadic about carrying a knife. I'll go for periods where I do and then periods where I don't. But I just have like a hand. None of the knives I have, I'm like in love with. I
Mhm.
just have a handful of like small folders that I'll
Yeah.
carry. Um,
Like Kershaw's or like what kinda
oh man,
or
one of
like
them is
no
like
names?
Gerber.
Okay.
Um, Another thing I started doing though that I think will kind of fill in that gap between nothing and gun.
Mhm.
Um, and you see chicks do this a lot. I put a little pepper spray thing on my keychain because, like, yeah,
All day,
yep,
every day.
got a palm one.
Yep, Palm OC.
Yeah, same. Because, like, okay, like let's say I get some crazy homeless person. Because
Mhm.
sometimes I'm in the city and there's crazy homeless people.
Yep.
It's like I don't want to shoot a crazy homeless person who's threatening me if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't feel too bad pepper spraying somebody.
Yeah.
Um, One of my friends pepper sprayed me for fun one time. Like we tried it out on each other,
Mhm.
and it's rough, but you're like it's fine. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about like, oh man, I inflicted so much pain on this person.
It'll get
I think
them
it's
down
good
in a
deterrent.
way without, and the justification for that level of force is very
Much
little.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you could just be like, "Look, I felt threatened," and
Mhm.
I'm not saying run around pepper spraying people, guys. I'm saying
But you can
that
whip that out in a much more questionable situation than a gun.
yes,
Like
absolutely.
I've had times where I, kind of maneuvered myself and had my hand on the grip ready, but
Mhm.
I've never actually pulled my gun on someone,
Mm,
thankfully. Um,
yeah,
but like there's been some situations where I maybe would have pulled out pepper spray,
as
um,
opposed to
had it have been an option.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y I
So
I've been in that situation before. I have pulled my handgun before, unfortunately more than one time. One time, I've talked about it before, but, long and the short of it is this: a guy pulled a knife on me at a party.
mhm.
Obviously, there was a lot more leading up to that prior to that
Yeah.
happening, but, and he was so drunk that he didn't realize until, I mean, literally the last second that I was pointing a gun at him, and he finally dropped it, as I was screaming, "Stop, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. Stop, stop." Because when you're training a gun at somebody, they have like a
It
square inch.
doesn't look like much.
Yeah, I mean,
Side profile looks a lot more than front profile.
yeah, and that's why when, like, bad guys are, like, trying to intimidate people, they pull it out and they yeah, mhm, yeah. So, like, there's been several situations where, like, there was one time I went to DC and I had to be completely disarmed, and, I was there for a business meeting, and I got the time wrong. So I was in Northeast DC, which used to be gorgeous. It was an incredible place, and then they basically totally shut down a bunch of places in Southeast DC, which was the hood,
Mhm.
and all those people from Southeast DC started to migrate
Yeah,
to Northeast DC,
and
and
now they don't prosecute violent crimes in half the blue cities,
oh,
so
yeah. Dude,
yeah.
it's when you drove in to DC during the 2020, 2021 craziness,
Mhm,
um, they had buildings draped in BLM. Like, I'm talking skyscrapers
mhm.
with BLM down, like the huge, like flags, like whatever, like the banners.
Yeah,
It was insanity.
I
I
bet the
had
windows are still broken.
probably I had a small group of people attack me at a stoplight because I wouldn't pump my fist. That's the last time.
Yeah,
I think it was the last time I went to DC. And I okay, so I'll get to that in a second. But basically, I at this restaurant, I was there like an hour early, and I was just like, I was a very busy person. I had a job back then that I had to manage a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I'll just sit here and do calls until everyone gets here. This dude who was carrying a pocket knife in his pocket, because I look at people, their eyes, their
mhm.
hands, their waistband, their pockets, all that shit, and he comes up to me, and I don't know why he was yelling at people all down the street, but this dude, he walked past like 10, 15 people, kept walking, walked past me, and just turned around, and he picked me. He locked eyes with
Mhm.
me, he started screaming at me, getting all close. And this dude, I mean, when you look at somebody and you're like, okay, they are
Insane.
completely and utterly unhinged. Yes,
Yeah.
he is insane. He does not care what he does. And I didn't have anything but a pocket knife on me. I was like, dude, I'm about to get in a knife fight. Like, you know,
It's a
but
problem.
that would have been a perfect situation for something like pepper spray,
Yeah.
But please, everyone out there, you need to know that if you pepper spray somebody, it's going to take sometimes 30 seconds to really take effect. It is not an instant thing, you know?
And some people can handle it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work on everybody.
Yep. And it
Like
depends how you get them. You got to get a Z across
mhm.
the eyes and nose and mouth. If you can do that Z, you're going to have better luck, but still a lot of people can just take that shit.
So me and my friends messed around with some pepper spray. Um, and so I got it right in my eyes. I tried to keep my eyes open, but I was definitely squinting when it got me.
Mhm.
But a lot of it got in my eyes.
Yeah.
Um, and I wasn't at, full combat capacity or anything,
Mhm.
but if it was a fist fight, I would have still been swinging and fighting.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I could kind of see I was still more or less in control of myself. There was a lot of mucus. Um,
Yeah, it's funny. You just pour mucus,
yeah,
snot, spit.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it gets pretty nasty.
Yeah, your body
Um,
is just trying to like rapidly rinse everything out. So you get, snot, spit, your eyes are just watering like crazy. And it's
mhm.
oil based. So you
It's
can't do shit.
you can just put water and rinse it off. Yeah,
And most people, and they're like, "Oh, just run the hose on my face." Well, all that shit rinses down your face and
spreading
like
it.
into your crotch. Oh, dude, you will be burning, burning.
Yeah.
Can you
Um,
use a club for self-defense? Usually not. I mean, it depends. So it depends on the state and it depends on the circumstances. if you had other choices on you, then I mean, man, I don't know. Most places, batons, you have to keep them. You have to open carry them, which is why they usually come with those really whack Velcro like holster things. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you have other choices, a baton is lethal force in some cases.
Mhm.
So be aware of that.
Yeah, but, like, as far as pepper spray stopping someone, if they're not super determined, they'll probably run the other way.
Yeah.
And even if they are super determined, you now have a pretty good advantage.
Yeah.
Um, so
That's the
you'd
best
probably be able
way.
to get away.
Yeah. That's the
But
best way to look at pepper spray as you're giving yourself a slight advantage to either use force or escape.
Mhm,
And that's basically it, you know. I mean, if if they're in close enough proximity to you to where they can strobe their eyes, like if you get pepper sprayed, you
mhm.
strobe your eyes just open and close to get like quick little
Bits of vision. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you
and
can't
then
hold them open. You can hold them closed.
yeah, 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 and you'll mostly be holding them close. But,
Yeah.
if
You
you
gotta fight to get them open here and there.
yeah, if you strobe them and rush someone and swing, you can if you or anybody gets pepper sprayed, then that's basically your best bet, or just to run, get the hell out of there. Uh,
Yeah.
do not draw your gun and start discharging for unless you absolutely had to save, preserve your own life or the preservation of other innocent life. But I mean, yeah, correct. Don't get it in your butt. Um, it really stings for
Yeah,
days.
for days. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard, milk is good to get pepper spray off because the pepper spray will dissolve in the fats in the milk.
Hmm.
We just gave it time.
Yeah. I heard
So
if you pour baking soda on the person's face and then pour milk all over it, it takes a lot of the oils with it
huh,
because the baking
okay.
soda absorbs
Absorb
oils.
the oils. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
and then you
makes
wash it with milk, and that also rinses it off, as well. Yeah, I mean, if you're burning down there, buddy, you got problems.
yeah.
Not just, not just pepper spray problems. Um, but I think it's important for all of us to determine, like, what is your, like, your absolute like, what is your standard for what you are going to carry every day, all the time, always, and like no exception. And it's going to be different for every person depending on what they're wearing, what their day, where they're going, where
Sure.
they can go. And for me, it is I am always going to have a handgun, and I'm going to have it in almost always 99.9% of the time the same place. I'm gonna have it at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm gonna have an extra magazine at like 11 ish, 11:30, and then I'm gonna have a knife on my right side, and then I'm going to have a goon beam on the left side, and then I'm gonna have my taco juice on the left side as well. So that's what I'm always going to carry. And when I always have my tools and they're always in the same place, it makes things easier if God forbid something happened. I know,
You don't
you
have to
know.
think about it.
Yeah, it's just that's where that stuff is always. Even
Mm,
at the house right now. Carrying in the house is important too.
for sure, for sure.
I've heard peeing on the spot. Yeah, I can't.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, it could be. If you got
Worst case, you have a good time.
a yeah, all right. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
So the flapper delayed 9 mil, the Bobcat will be available. You said this Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Nice, awesome. And if you guys stay tuned, you're going to see your boy DLD bust out a very very suppressed 300 blackout
It's gonna be hot.
apple pie. It's an apple pie, not a fritter, right?
No, it's a fritter because it'll be a short barrel.
Okay, nice. I'm excited about that.
Yep.
And it may be black and blue, but we'll see.
Black and blue, black and blue.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so for everyone else, for the folks that it's crazy how we had like almost 70 people in here, and now we're at 35 people. The first thing I want to look at is if someone else
And
is
honestly, the
live.
fact that half of them made it 3 hours, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
dude, we got some dedicated folks up in here, man, and all you guys, man, and Drew, man, we got to talk offline because that's what you
Zero.
that's huge, and yeah, I've Frag Out did that one night. Actually, the reason I have a computer right now is because of Frag Out Firearms. He did the same thing. He donated $500, and I tried to say no, 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 and he was like, "Dude, take it. You need it." And just to add this here, um, I was going through another difficult time. It was when my wife and I had just separated, and we were literally taking the computer between my house and her house, and my house and her house, and my house and her house, and she was like using it like a tool in a custody battle. It was ridiculous, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I just need to go get my own computer. And Fragout was like, you need a computer. Bam. It's like,
Got you, Bill.
oh my god. You guys are incredible. I literally would not be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you guys. And wasn't a blackout 300 used in the Murdaugh murder?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's part of why he was caught because it's not a super common caliber, and the dude had 300 blackout firearms.
Mm,
Um, if you're gonna do something like that, use a common caliber and yeah, stay safe, boys.
9 milli. I think anyone that's committing any massive act of violence like that uh deserves to be shot in the face immediately.
Mhm.
Um and that's why all of us carry firearms so we can dispatch evil at
With 147 grains.
mhm.
At least that's
So
what I carry.
yeah, usually I'll rock the 124s.
Okay.
Actually right now I got bringing it back to the early 2000s.
You
I
got
have
them
the
gold dots?
I have the 115 grain Bipples. These are the BPLEs. 115 grain plus
Ah,
P plus P
damn, that's
plus. These
spicy.
yeah, these things are like out of like a Scorpion, like a
Mhm.
7.75 inch or whatever barrel. These things are like on the ankles of 30 or 357 Magnum. I mean, they're punching. They're going crazy. Um but yeah, okay. So in the end, you got this dope file coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys check it out and remind everybody else who's here who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
3D arms. I design guns. I make silly little videos on Instagram, YouTube. I have a Twitter, but I'm not super active on it, honestly. I was for a while, and then I lost my Twitter, and I just haven't cared to do it again.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, so I got a couple designs out there. I got one coming out Friday, and then I'll have some more later. Couple more 50 BMG things. Some I'm working on a bufferless 5.56. Ooh, those are cool.
that's for you, Drew. He literally just said the Woodsman G9 and the
Low points.
external hollow points.
Yeah, isn't
That's
that who makes the external hollow points?
these are G9. There is another one that's kind of shaped like a Phillips head that Lehigh Defense makes.
That's what I was
Um,
thinking. Yeah.
these are most notable for killing a buffalo in one shot.
Wow.
The Woodsman rounds are insane. These are CNC machined and
Just solid copper.
tumbled, and yeah, they're
They gotta
they're
be pretty
insane.
light grainage then if they're just solid copper.
So these ones are like 60, 65 grain, and these ones literally blow through level 3A armor. They're insane. These are 124 grain, but
Mm.
they're like huge. They go you know what? These may not be, are they all copper? I don't know. I don't know if the Woodsmen
The
are all
external
copper.
hollow points are probably I that one probably has a lead core.
Yeah, I would guess this one
So you
has.
could do a lead core on that pretty easy.
Yeah. These ones are the older ones that are the high pressure rounds. So this is actually steel. The
Oh,
bottom,
yeah.
yeah, the bottom of the casing is steel, and then the rest of the casing is nickel. And these are just, I mean, they just punch so effing hard, dude. They're incredible. My bad. Didn't mean to
Oh, you're good.
stop
You're
your
good, man.
thing there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a bufferless 556. Uh, I did an open bolt 50 BMG, but I'm gonna do another one. Um, and I'm gonna get back on that 12 gauge shotgun for sure.
Nice. Dude,
Uh,
that'd be so cool. And
so
that's a 3D printed magazine.
everything
Um,
full DIY.
yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
So
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Awesome. So, guys, make sure we show him some love. Go to his Instagram, blow it up, hit him with a bunch of likes, a like bomb, which is what I call a like bomb is when you go like 10 of their pictures and then, hit him with a bunch of comments and stuff. Show him some dilder love. Okay.
thanks, boys.
Yeah, man. And keep an eye out because on Friday that Bobcat is dropping, and that takes Scorpion Evo mags.
Yeah, Evo mags, last round bolt hold open, HK slap, fully ambi, everything.
Nice.
So totally left hand, right hand, full ambi friendly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and fairly cheap.
Yep.
You will be able to get parts kits if you don't want to source all the little bits yourself from Middleton Made. Yeah, and I hope you guys like it.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. I believe they won't only like it, they'll love it. And man, being able to do like an apple pie or an apple fritter for sub $300 to have a pump
Yeah,
action
it's
AR,
pretty wild.
dude, that's incredible. So make sure you guys do that and show some love. And for you guys in the interim, if until my next stream, if you go to the link in the description, you can see I have my own link tree in there, and it's got everything from not only in the link tree, but in the description. I have everything from what I always say: support the homies, support the homies that support us, right? So everything from Gideon Optics, Goon Beam flashlights, PR triggers, all the homies are in there. Even tack knives. Remember, there's actually a bunch of stuff on sale with tack knives. So if you guys are looking for some super dope OTF knives like this, there's a bunch of stuff on sale on tack knives. If you use my link and you use code DARK, you can get 20% off. And these things are solid, solid. Haven't broken one yet, actually, which is surprising. But you'll see that coming up in the giveaway that I got coming up soon. You guys may see some OTF knives in there too. So check it out. So support the homies that support us, everyone from Goonbeam, Gideon, PR Triggers, tack knives, the AR takedown tool, all those guys. Show them some love if you can. And everyone that's jumped in to support me during this difficult time when they shut my business down. It sucks so much, but I literally could not do this without you guys. Shout out to Drew. Like, holy moly. I'm so fucking grateful for all you guys, man. And we'll figure something out because I feel terrible just taking money like that. But thank you all. Thank you all. And Mr. Bullshitter says, DLD After Dark, thank you for doing these lives and the guests you bring on. It really is a good thing for this community. Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I couldn't do I couldn't and wouldn't do it without you guys. Did you see how Coast Runner is doing? Um
I think they're doing well.
yeah, I mean I haven't heard
saw they
anything.
kick- I saw they met their Kickstarter goal.
Yeah, I I haven't heard anything to the contrary. I would assume that they're doing well, especially the way that they kind of launched. I think it's very creative um
The
for a
aesthetic is
company.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah. The GG3, coming out doing its thing, and then a totally unaffiliated, totally separate, completely different company to come
Yep.
out and make something so cool that is so not similar that rhymes with it's
Yeah.
awesome, and I love it,
Um,
and it's
I
beautiful,
opened
man.
their Kickstarter page. They're just under 500,000, and
Oof.
they in dollars, not in units. And they opened it today. So
Dang, that's incredible, man. That's awesome.
yeah,
In the first 5 minutes, they're 14 times that now. What?
he's saying it was fully funded in the first 5 minutes, but they're 14 times whatever their funding goal
Oh,
was.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, make sure support the people that support us. That's the most important thing. All of those companies that I just mentioned, all of those are like the homies. They're people that we know, right? Like we know that, Goombeam is making these little, flashlights himself with like little, elves and stuff,
Mm.
and we know that Jordan Vinro is with his little welder's mask on making optics, at his desk, and tack knives, they're making these by hand and in their kitchen. And no, I'm kidding. But guys, these are all our homies. Let's support them. And by supporting them, you also support the channel too. And I appreciate you guys so much. Um, Anything else you want to add? Any life advice or anything before we wrap up?
Um,
Don't get pepper sprayed.
yeah, don't get pepper sprayed. Be cool. Be cool to people unless they suck, and then avoid them.
That is excellent. Excellent advice. Gabber, you're late. You can't just walk in here all late. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I appreciate you, 3D Arms. Thank you for coming on. I know you've been on a few times, and it is always a
It's
blast.
fun. It's
It's like
fun.
talking to my bestie every time. Um, UNITY. Yes, that is a Queen Latifah song. Yes, thank you. Oh, if only Gerchop were here, it would have been a perfect. Yeah, I don't know where Gerchop is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we close out, I want you all to remember a few things. Number one, we are living in extremely tumultuous times. Okay. Right now, things are uncertain, uneasy, and uncomfortable. And I would recommend that every single one of you take the time to get right with your family and get right with God. And it may be one thing, you hearing it from me, and then you getting invited to church by one of your family members or something. Pick up a Bible, read, pray, worship, go to church, do your thing, because I wouldn't be being myself if I didn't say this to you guys every single stream. Get right with God. Okay. It is the time now. And as a man, you have to make a decision on what your standards and expectations are for yourself every single day of your life. And some of my personal rules that I like to live by are these next three things that I share at the end of every single stream, which is rule number one is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number two is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed because the hand that's open to give is open to receive. And then rule number three, quite possibly the most important, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you are becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate you, 3D Arms, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Bam, 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 bam. And guys, don't forget, you got to subscribe to DLD TV 2023. So go on YouTube and search DLD TV 2023, and you'll find that there's another channel with a bunch of cool shorts on there, and maybe someday soon you're going to see things like some tabletop videos and things like that. So DLD TV 2023, and I'll see you on the next one.